Welcome, everyone, to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. I am Frank the Tank, filling in for Foulmouth, who's running a little bit late. He's hoping he's going to join us later on in the episode. So we got a little bit of a short staff here today. I'm hoping some more are going to be joining a little bit later. But for the time being, we're going to get into some Bulls play-in talk. I mean, I don't know what the hell to expect, to be honest with you. I don't think most people in Chicago know what to expect with the Bulls right now. We do got a great guest here who knows a lot of Bulls. He does know a lot of Bears, but he also knows a lot of Bulls. He is having a little bit of computer issues, but he is going to join us as soon as he can. And we're going to get into our normal Bears talk. So, hey, let's tune in.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up and coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
All right, welcome everybody. So, hey, let's just get this started. Like I said, we're a little bit short as of right now. It's just gonna be me and the stat man who knows every stat on freaking. I don't think he knows. I'll teach him up a little bit of hockey stats, but I think everything else he's got in the bag right now. So let's bring him in, JB.
What up, Frank?
What up, JB? How you doing, man? How you enjoying that weather?
I'm enjoying it very much so. Spring has come and it's about damn time. But shout out to Lizzo, right?
Yeah, for sure on that, man.
But man, just it's the dog days of football right now, but we still have some things to chirp about. One of the things that I was interested in was a couple of pundits were talking about how Ryan Poles was having anxiety about this number 9 pick and what to do with it and stuff. And some people say, did he get fleeced? And I'm like, I don't want to say that, but you never know.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. This is a big number. This is a big pick for him right here. Absolutely. Big pick. Because, I mean, it's going to be the big question mark. And I think the biggest thing, and I know we talk about it all the time, but if Jalen Carter is there at 9, are you taking him? I just don't know.
I pray not.
I hope to God he is not there. I really do.
I wanted to dig in with our guest, too, man. How did you feel about Cam Newton saying that he would not mind backing up Justin Fields, which to me is kind of, if you wanted somebody to teach Justin Fields how to be a quarterback, I know people might not say, oh, well, Cam Newton's not that good or whatever. Cam Newton and Justin Fields are damn near the same person.
We don't want him to be Cam Newton, though, am I right?
And that's the thing.
That's the thing. That's why I wouldn't want him as a backup, because I don't want him to be Cam Newton.
Well, I would say Cam Newton could mentor him on not.
I would hope he would be like that for sure, because he learned that he wishes he can go back in a time machine and not do that stuff, because that did make his career extremely short.
Absolutely. Let's pay some bills real quick. Shout out to Moore's Beer.
Moore's in the zone.
Thank you, guys. Raise your standing. Gonna crack it open and cheers to the good weather people.
Oh, right. God, it's about time. I was actually able to go out and play some basketball yesterday for the first time at the park, man.
That's what's
nice. Hopefully it stays like that.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
So I mean,
So
look,
let's
our guest is not here yet. He said he was having a little bit of computer issues. He is planning on hopping on though. He is a massive Bulls guy. He knows all about the Bulls. So I mean, I would like to talk Bulls for a little bit first. I would like him to be on here, but do we want to talk Bulls until he can chime in and then we just bring him right in, or do we want to wait?
Let's just bring him back in. But like I said, I want to kind of, since we started off, I still want to stay true to our Bears fans and everybody
for sure.
who tunes in. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of intrigued about this because for those that are paying attention, right? How can a former MVP, Super Bowl, he achieved the Super Bowl, he won an MVP, and he's also done something that no Bears passer has ever done. Like, how can we not?
I mean, we did go out and get a pretty good backup, though, who is a similar type quarterback to how Justin Fields is, and I do like that backup. The only thing about Cam Newton that I'm worried about is possibly bringing the circus to town for a backup quarterback. Like, because a lot of media attention is going to be following him if he comes here. And that's always going to be work.
Do you want the spectacle? Do you want
exactly? Like, there's no doubt. Like, if he would come in and say, "I'm going to teach Justin Fields how not to be me," I wouldn't even say not to be me, because I'd love for him to do what Cam Newton did. Like, there's no question about that. But if, like I always said before, if Cam Newton could go back in a time machine, damn well he's not going to be running the ball as much as he did. There's no shot he's going to be doing that.
Well, check this out.
Go.
If you go back to, I want to say his rookie year, you can check me on that. He threw for 4,000 yards.
He absolutely did. He had one of the best rookie years I've seen out of a lot of rookie quarterbacks
in 100+ years of Bears football.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't have a lot of people around him either, did he? He had Steve Smith, I think, right?
So remember, he had Steve Smith was what you call it, was his number one.
Yes.
So and then after he got Greg Olsen from us, another dumb.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Greg Olsen, man.
Yeah, that's somebody. That's somebody I wish we could have kept.
Yes. But I mean, it's a huge question mark. I mean, I know they have a history. They are great friends, because I remember popping up those videos of, I think it was when Cam Newton was like a rookie and Justin Fields was still in high school. They were showing that video that said this guy is the next up and coming great quarterback. I'm taking
absolutely.
It now.
And speaking of relationships, because it seems like in all sports now it's all about who you know and who you cool with. Justin Fields was one of Cam Newton's campers in one of his programs. So it's not just like saying, "Oh, I like the kid." No, it's like I know the kid. Like, I personally have a relationship with him. So I would say if you were to take away, right? If you were to take away everything that is extra about Cam Newton, you kind of got Justin Fields. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like almost what with the 4.40. I think I'm sorry. Cam 4.5, Justin 4.4. So I think Cam is slightly bigger, Justin slightly faster. Both have rocket arms. It's just that one was looked on as, I'm a running quarterback and I'm just bigger than everybody coming out of Auburn, whereas Justin was always looked at as a passer first.
Yeah. And that is true, because, Justin in college wasn't – I mean, he ran if he had to run, but what did he run for, like 600-700 yards his entire college career? He was a legit pocket beast. So he's got it in him. The only thing he's got to figure out is he does got to stop holding onto the ball for too long. But I think he trusts his legs so much that's why he holds onto the ball a little bit longer. But I just want him to give that up.
So look at this, though, for all us historians. For those that have said dual threat quarterbacks were not going to be successful, it seems like all the dual threat quarterbacks currently are successful.
You name, other than maybe Joe Burrow? It's really, he's not bad.
I wouldn't consider Joe Burrow a dual threat. Now, he can't move. Like, okay, consider this. If you're prototypical, right? is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, when you swing Lamar's pendulum to the left, you have to put in Kyler Murray, you have to put in Jalen Hurts, you have to put in Cam Newton. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, at this point, you have to put in Justin Fields. But if you swing it to the right, you look at what Pat Mahomes has done. You can also say you have to put Lamar there. You have to put
hands down
there. You know, you got MVPs that have led the NFL in touchdowns. Lamar leading in passing touchdowns, which you know, how can you say somebody can't throw the ball when they're literally leading in touchdowns?
Yeah. I never really had an issue with, like, are you talking about Lamar or are you talking about Cam?
No, I was talking about Lamar because, you know, some people say he's just a running quarterback, but I said let's not forget this so-called running quarterback led the NFL in passing touchdowns.
He did.
So
he did.
I translate that to say just because you're labeled as a running quarterback, a la Justin Fields currently, doesn't mean that he can't be a dynamic thrower of the ball. Now, is he going to hit the wanted 4,000 yard mark this year? Jury's still out. I like what they're putting together as far as the receiving core. I like what they just did. Something that just came out that I read. I want to say either late last night, first thing this morning. I'm blending days, but it was official. Tevin Jenkins moved to left guard.
Yes, and Tevin Jenkins came out and said he's fine with that.
Yes,
I was like,
absolutely.
wow, nice. I thought it would have been turned into a little fight because he says he feels more better on his body on the left side. So I was like, all right,
feels better, which to me is putting a person at their strength as opposed to where you want them. And now that moves Cody Whitehair, in my opinion, right to center. He should.
He should have had all the offseason snapping that freaking ball. Because, I mean, Whitehair was not a bad center when he was center here for a short time. He just had a lot of bad snapping issues.
Again, I think that's coaching.
I do.
Because
I feel that way too.
The center that he was coming out of college, then you only let him play center a small portion of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're looking at two people rather, that were always centers and just weren't very good. And we're talking about Sam Mustipher and Luke. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, Lucas Patrick, because to me, he was not the answer. And then the whole thing about, good evening, the whole concept of trying to place Alex Leatherwood as center.
It was worth a shot. They were trying something, maybe looking to catch something.
But sometimes when you try things like
that's not easy to do, just throwing somebody at center who's never played center.
So for people to be like, oh, dumb lineman, hell no. Like center, damn near is just as smart or smarter than the quarterback. Like
hands down.
Because
he is the quarterback of that offensive line. Like he needs to, and that's what was so dominant and great about Olin Kreutz. He was a perfect quarterback of that offensive line.
Absolutely. And with that being said, that's why I'm like, if Ryan Poles stays true to game, he needs to go ahead and make that offensive line pick, because now your middle with Whitehair, Jenkins, and Davis, that's solid. That's something that I'm seeing the pocket starting to form through the middle, because too many times Justin was getting rushed straight up the gut, and it was like he didn't have time to barely hand off the ball some plays, you know?
Yeah.
But now having those three guys up top, I'm literally, in my opinion, I'm literally excited about now what we can do if we move a Braxton Jones to the right and we pick up a Paris Johnson.
Yeah.
Like
I'm still open to Paris Johnson. It's crazy because like last week we had Nicholas on here and everything with great insight and everything like that. There really isn't a number. There's not like a for sure choice at who you're going to get at 9. It's going to be, I truly feel, in my opinion, it should be best available defensive lineman or offensive lineman. That's pretty much what I should go as. I mean, all this talk about getting a corner, I'm sorry, no. Like, I mean,
I said that if the lineman that you want, if Paris Johnson is gone, and now it comes down to best player available on your board, and Devin Witherspoon is available, I'm not saying you have to take him, but you have to take a look.
You should. I'm not saying never take a look. I just feel like the secondary is probably our least problematic position as of right now to be drafted. Like you still want depth, but Witherspoon's not a depth player.
No,
Witherspoon's going to be a damn good freaking corner.
So Witherspoon comes in and gives you that flexibility about that nickel's position, about what you want to do as far as, do you put Kyler there another year? Do you bring Witherspoon in and just put him at nickel? Because at U of I, you saw him play.
He did play both. Yeah, he split. He did a lot, which is nice. But, I mean, that also goes into the question, too. I mean, is Jalen Johnson going to be there? Like, I mean, are you saying Jalen Johnson isn't possibly your future? You don't plan on re-signing him because you think it's going to be too much money?
This year. He's got
this one more year left.
Remember, he's a second-round pick, so he doesn't get the
no, he doesn't get that option.
Right. So now, great point. If you're solidifying your offense and you're not sure on, one, how much you want to pay Jalen Johnson, two, whether or not you're going to keep Jalen Johnson, could that move you to take a Devin Witherspoon to get some depth or a Joey Porter Jr.?
I wouldn't be against that then.
Because Joey Porter Jr. played with Jaquan Brisker at Penn State.
Yeah.
You know, they like doing that tandem business now. Yeah. So it's a lot of dominoes that need to fall first. I was listening a little bit today on the way in, and I had heard that a new team, the Tennessee Titans, might be trying to pop up into the top 4 to get Anthony Richardson.
I did hear that too.
They would be trading that number 3 pick with the Cardinals. So then what does that say for Will Anderson? If the Cardinals trade out down into the Titans are somewhere 13, 17, whatever. Now, Will Anderson falls to Detroit.
And that's not good. That is not good. I know our Detroit trollers on the pod he'll be happy as hell, Don Burr, if that happens.
Look, I would love for Don Burr to come on and talk a little Lions football.
I would too. To
me, that is the team to beat in the division currently.
It is. It is.
You just have to tip your hat to those guys.
And I do want to get a Green Bay Packer fan on here too. And I just there's a lot of Green Bay Packers fans who are very confident in Jordan Love. And I was just like, what makes you confident in that? If anything, you should be happy you're finally done with Aaron Rodgers and you're moving on. Like, I understand that. But Jordan Love, I don't feel is going to come in here and light it up because they don't have a great offensive line. Watson came out at the end of the season and did very well. And it's safe to say one of their best receivers we took in Tunya. At least their best red zone threat in Tunya. We took him. Absolutely. Like, I don't see anything green on the Green Bay Packers right now. And I'd love to hear a Packer fan on this. And also, we should try to get it multiples. Like, I'd like to see a Viking fan and be like, what makes you think you guys are ever going to win with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback?
So good point. And I love the way you're thinking, brother, because now if you're saying that the ascension that they had, now is it time for them to have a decline again? Because the year before, they were losing all those one-score games.
Yeah.
You know, and now all of a sudden, you know, the football guys, the ball bounced their way. They won all those games. So now I'm looking at my standings, and I'm like, a 10-7 team could actually just lead the division. Period.
Yeah, they can.
10-7 can win you the division. The Lions had nine wins last year?
9 wins last year. And it was all later on wins, big wins.
Two more wins, I want to say 2 more losses they had were by a field goal that I think we were looking at to see if they were going to make the playoffs.
They had a great season, regardless of what anybody says. The Lions had a very damn good season.
Absolutely. So that's something that we have to watch and take note.
But now you just scared the shit out of me if Will Anderson's available for the Detroit Lions. Like, that is going to be freaking ridiculous.
Do we have the list of the teams that we can pop up for the fans? A list of the draft?
For draft? I can get it for it. I don't think we have one on here. I could possibly get it.
We want to put that up, and then going into next week, hopefully we'll have a draft special show for everybody. And we just really want to sit up there in our own, war room and really just feel that anticipation with what's going on. Hopefully we'll have a special guest. We know we have some former guests that said they would be interested in jumping on with us, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll
love to get like a Bears coach or something like that. Somebody who really knows.
Or a player, like give me a lineman. Give me Big Cat on that night and give me Alex Brown. Hey, which way do we go? We got an offense, we got defense.
That's a good one. Get Big Cat and Alex both on there. That'd be a good one right there.
Yes, absolutely. What I don't want Poles to do with that pick is I don't want him to feel any pressure like, hey, I got this great deal from this team. Let me trade back again just to get more picks. Because, dude, eventually you're going to have to make the pick. You're going to have to sit in the hot seat. You're going to have to make the pick.
But let me ask you this, though. Will Levis is still there at 9. Would you look to trade back? Or say like I looked it up earlier. I can't remember who it was. I think it was a 13 pick who possibly would be in the line for a quarterback, and they might offer you maybe an early third or another late second round pick.
For that, well, if the okay, so think about it. Are we talking about a contending team, or are we talking about somebody who we know needs a quarterback? I
look it up. Who I saw that on
Washington, because I'm not committed to the Sam Howell experiment. I'm not. Then we're looking at possibly what does Tampa Bay really do? You know, are they going to go in
Baker Mayfield your future right now, guys? There's no shot Baker Mayfield's your future.
You heard me say Kyle Trask. I'm not even looking at Baker Mayfield. Kyle Trask as either going to be your future or not. How heavy is Atlanta hitching their wagon to Desmond Ridder? I don't know. These are questions. And then the only other.
So Washington was at 16.
I can see that.
Like, I mean, Tennessee is another one. Like, they might move up to get Will Anderson, but what if Will Levis is there at 9? Are you sold on Tannehill to be part of their future right now? I'm not. Like, they liked Will Levis, I remember, at the draft, too, or at the combine.
Here we go again. Where there's smoke, there's probably some fire. If Tennessee is rumored at any position to move up to get a quarterback, be it 3 or 9, what would you say if a Will Levis was there? So now you take Will Levis. Do you trade Tannehill? Do you release him? What do you do with Malik Willis? You just got him last year.
I'll tell you one team who wouldn't mind to have Tannehill, and that's who you just brought up in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Again, pick your poison, because
there's a lot that you can do.
I've personally seen enough. Me personally, I've seen enough of Baker Mayfield to know he's not a. He's
an average quarterback.
He's an average quarterback.
That's at his best day.
Baker, I've seen bad Baker. I've seen pouty Baker. I've just seen enough of Baker.
Mm-hmm. He's like another similar to like a Joe Flacco. He shined for a few years.
Well, actually, he only shined his rookie year. Like, that was the only time he really, really shined.
Well, he had a good second year as well, because I remember, or maybe it was his third. I can't remember.
I thought it was his third.
When Odell Beckham got hurt. When Odell Beckham got hurt, he came out and won like 8 straight games.
Right, because he was trying to force the ball to Odell, and that's what messed him up. Then once Odell got hurt, he started to. I want to say he featured Jarvis Landry. A little bit. Somebody that a couple of years ago
got paid.
We wanted the Bears to look at. But again, moving forward, what is enough compensation? 9th pick is still top 10. And if you want this quarterback who's going to be your anchor for your franchise for the future, how much is it really worth to you?
Exactly. Like, I mean, I'm not saying only a second-round pick. You should be able to get multiple picks. But, I mean, I highly doubt you'll be able to swing in another first-rounder next year. I mean, that'd be great if we somehow pull out of our ass 3 first-round draft picks next year. But, I mean, I would take a second-rounder, early second-rounder possibly next year, and maybe even a third, just to move back a few spots. And you still have some good offensive linemen. And you know what? Miles Murphy's going to be there at 9. Miles Murphy might be there at 11. Miles Murphy might be there at 13. It's just a lot of people aren't sold on Miles Murphy.
If that's your guy and you feel that he's going to be the person to anchor your system, fit your scheme. Yeah,
that's true. It's all about scheme too.
But he actually does fit the scheme. You see, here's the other thing. When you're looking at what the Bears are going to do as opposed to what they should do, you'll get a million and one different responses, right? But the clear-cut answer is, if you don't build a line, you will never see the maturation of Justin that you want.
No, agreed. And you can't keep waiting for that offensive line to build too, because you're going to have to decide if you're going to pay him or not.
There you go.
And by that time, our offensive line's good. Now you're going to pay him? You just lost your rookie quarterback type contract that a lot of people try to go out and win with.
I think right now it's more important to a team like the Titans to get out of the give it to Derrick Henry 30 times again. Like they have to get out of that.
Well, isn't Derrick Henry's on the trade block? They're trying to trade Derrick Henry.
But again, a team that Derrick Henry would go to right now that would probably like be the missing piece. Who is that team? Denver?
That'd be a good one.
You know,
but I always said too, but I don't think they have the money unless Tennessee's willing to eat some of the money, and that'd be the Buffalo Bills. But I don't think they financially can afford him.
Okay, let's kick the tires on that. He goes to Buffalo. We know that Josh Allen just got paid. I believe Diggs is next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Diggs is next year, and he might not even be there. Like he's trying to decide if he wants to be there.
But they lost a key component to their defense.
Yeah, he's here.
So now you're putting you were trying to take pressure off.
You need to outscore teams, yeah.
And now you just put it right back. You see what I'm saying? So you would have to get a Derrick Henry type guy to take that pressure off. Right. But Devin Singletary did pretty very well. Singletary.
He didn't do bad or anything like that. But can you imagine like a Singletary and Derrick Henry type combo, man? That'd be to go along with a Josh Allen play action. That'd be a deadly offense. But I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, losing Edmonds, that hurts. And I couldn't be happier to see him in a Bears uniform. So our boy Jeremy's got on a nice question here. We were talking about this earlier, but we can kind of swing back to it. Are you guys upset that they didn't sign OBJ? I'm not. Like, I mean,
the Bears? Did the Bears?
The Bears. I'm not, because I don't. $18 million. Holy! I don't think OBJ expected to get $18 million. It is only a 1-year deal. It is. I'm going to make Lamar Jackson happy, and hopefully come back on a franchise tag, play off the year, and then Odell Beckham's possibly going to be gone next year, and you're going to have your quarterback under contract then. Like, I mean, that's their goal. But would I have loved to see OBJ here for 11, 12 million? Maybe. I wouldn't be against that, but I really don't have an issue with our wide receiving.
I was going to say, where does OBJ?
Yeah, where would he fit? Yeah, he wouldn't fit because, I mean, he would not. Obviously, he's not going to be coming in here to be your number one. And he bulked up a lot this offseason, which is good. But at the same time, is the speed still going to be there? Coming off of 2 ACL tears on the same knee, you don't know what it's going to – that's a huge gamble.
What we see in the straight line is different than cutting and stuff.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So
Jeremy actually put up another one. This would be a good team for him too. Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry to the Dolphins. That'd be a good fit.
Now you speaking my language, because
that'd be a good fit.
Is the missing piece.
Absolutely. They don't have a running game.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that, Jeremy. Whiskey to that.
Now, here's the question. If we go back and look at history, which normally repeats itself, unfortunately, when we had teams, 13-3 season under Dick Duran, all the success that we had under Levy, the 12-4 season under Nagy, we actually had everything in place except for what? The quarterback. Now we have the quarterback. And since we have the quarterback now, we need to make sure that we surround him with more and more talent, and we're able to protect him. So I'm saying, hello?
There we go.
There you go.
Like literally, I just had like a bunch of loading things up on my screen. I don't know if anyone else was able to see me or anything.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were froze. I thought you were just
No. Oh, I was frozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Because at first you were frozen too. So so maybe that was me. All right, go ahead. Finish.
No, so I was just gonna say I'm looking at, for all those teams that had those good records, we didn't have the quarterback. Now we have the quarterback, and we have to piece around him.
I agree.
And I think that's what Ryan Poles is trying to do. We can't
throw it. It's going to work.
I'm going to go on record today being what, April 12th, 2012. 12th?
Got the
11th.
11th.
April 11th, 2023. I'm going to go on record and say I'm concerned about our running backs. I haven't said that.
I'm not going to deny that.
In a long time. I haven't said that about the Bears probably in 20 years. That I was concerned about the running backs.
Yeah,
now
I'm not going to deny that at all.
I saw some statistics that blew my mind as far as everybody like, oh, but Khalil Herbert's averaging 5.4 yards a kick. That's with David Montgomery.
Yes. And everyone goes like, oh, he was still doing good when Montgomery went down. The only reason he did good because he once in a while broke for a big run, so that always made his numbers look good. But
so watch this.
I usually see him hitting 1-2 yards, and the problem is you don't see blocking. You don't see catching in the backfield. He's horrible at screens. He can't go to the outside to flip into a receiver. It's like that's a huge hit losing David Montgomery, and the fact that he went over to freaking Detroit of all places, because Detroit had they had an okay.
They had some good running backs.
Yeah, they had a pretty good running back in Detroit, but now to add David Montgomery to that mix, like damn. Like I'm not sold on Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert is a great role-playing running back. Like he is a legitimate, damn good backup running back who's going to come in there and just give you a change of pace. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of teams need something like that. But, I mean, I do like the running back we got in the offseason. He's pretty good at catching the ball out of the backfield and everything, too.
Yeah,
so that's
help. And he's going to definitely help. He was no star. I wouldn't say he almost had 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
In Carolina with that character.
He just wasn't as good as hits after contact like David Montgomery was. That was his big thing.
Neither is Herbert. But when Herbert was solo the starter, I believe the stat said something like 2.8 or 3.8 yards a carry. Like it was a significant drop.
It was like I believe it was like 3.8 as a starter, but when I looked it up, like out of like I think it was 6 total games that he played when David Montgomery did not play. 5 out of those 6 games he had a 60-yard run in. So that always it may be that 3.8 with that 60-yard run. You take that 60-yard run out, he was averaging like 2.2, and that can't happen. Like, I understand. I love the fact that you have a great run every once in a while, but we need consistency at that running back rotation because then everyone's just going to tune in on Justin Fields.
And that's what we don't want. And that's why it's so imperative that Foreman Foreman got to get the rock. It can't just be the Khalil Herbert show. Foreman's got to touch the ball. And I don't want to just see him on third down. The other cat, what's his name that we got from Seattle? Travis Homer.
Homer, yep.
Yeah. He should not just be a special guy, too. He's got that Jerick McKinnon type game.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have him on the field as well. Just in case, Getsy got to open up the playbook, start hitting them quick slants, over routes, check downs. Get the ball in your playmaker's hands and take your shots.
I want those quick slants hitting with Mooney, too. Mooney back at that slot position should be lighting people up at those quick slants.
Again, if you watch all the success that DJ Moore had, all of his highlights, what do you see?
Mostly slants.
No, deep passes.
Oh, deep, yeah, because he has that breakaway speed. He has something that we did not have this past season, and that was a receiver who can clearly win the ball off the line of scrimmage. Like, he blew past people right away, and nobody else could have done that on our team. Like, we had speedy guys, but they could not break it off of the line of scrimmage.
Well, now we got 3 of them.
Skylark. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Foreman, Travis Homer. I mean, he did very good this offseason in helping our receiving core.
Absolutely.
He really did. I love the tackle that we picked up, moving Jenkins over to left now. I mean, not tackle, sorry, guard. Moving Jenkins over to left guard and giving us a beast right guard now too. Still worried about the ends. I don't know. Like, we did pick up another end he's not bad. I mean, probably better than what we had, or another tackle. But I would still I'm lost at that 9 pick on if I want an offensive tackle or an offensive pass rusher or defensive pass rusher. I feel we need more of a defensive pass rusher.
Here's the thing. We are still in those late areas of free agency. If let's say we do go defense, do we really coach Larry Borum up on that right side? Do we see what veteran that's been let go from cap casualties? Do we call Eric Fisher and say, "Hey, man, you all right for the last 2 years?" Like, you have some like low grade options. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see anybody hyping Alex Leatherwood up, talking about he could be our right tackle. He needs to prove that he wants to play football. That's
I agree with that.
He has to first and foremost show.
You just don't see the motivation in camp, from what I hear.
And that's from what we're hearing. So imagine what it really is.
Yeah, and that's where you're flipping.
We talking about a former first round pick whose own coach said, "Why? Why did you all pick him in the first round?" His own coach. Yeah. Nick Saban said this. To me, that's telling, but that's not the guy that I want to say, let me be the smartest guy in the room and see if a change of scenery helps him out. Hell, he was only in Vegas for a year. What change of scenery does he need?
And then he comes right in here and immediately gets mono, and we're not even able to see what he's got right off the get-go.
Yeah, then he gets small. He's project. Probably what?
I mean, if you want to hold on to him, I mean, you're not losing anything. I mean,
just for some depth.
I mean, it's a depth position, and you're hoping to catch. I mean, like how you said, a project. He is a first round pick, so the talent is there. But it goes into another first round pick.
We assume that the talent was there because right now,
very
as
true.
crazy as it sounds, Braxton Jones is looking better than Alex Leatherwood. I'm just saying.
Very, very true. Yeah, you're not wrong on that one. And I mean, flipping that over to another first round pick is N'Keal Harry. Not even have a team yet either. He's still out there.
But here's the thing. I personally liked him. What I saw that we did see when he was on the field, he caught a slant for a touchdown, went up for the 50-50 ball. What would you say if you moved him to tight end?
He'd be like your third tight end, though.
No, but he's big and fast enough to compete for some time. I mean, if we're truly thinking outside the box, right?
You could also possibly say maybe his ego could be too big, where he's going to say, "No, I don't want to play tight end."
Well, it's about getting on the field.
Yeah.
And let's be very clear. Switching positions is not always a bad thing if it gets you on the field. And you have to remember, where you have talent deficient and you have somebody that can plug and play. Now, I'm not saying that this is a great example, because he didn't, to me, he kind of like didn't have the career he was projected to be. But a guy like David Boston, who came out as a hot receiver, he moved. I remember that. And it was okay. You know what I mean? Like, it was okay.
Didn't we have somebody on our podcast who came out as like a quarterback and he went to tight end?
Alex Brown played quarterback, but then moved to tight end. And I think, Warren Sapp played tight end in high school.
Oh, maybe it was Warren Sapp that I was thinking of.
He moved to defensive tackle, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Terrell Pryor, Jeremy hit us with. That's true, too, quarterback to wide receiver. And he was a pretty good wide receiver, too.
He was more than serviceable for the Raiders at the time. But again, that gets you on the field. The most famous one for me, and I'll challenge any of our fans to bring up somebody else in case we forgot, Antoine Randall might not have had a career if he didn't move from quarterback to wide receiver. And look, and he's got Super Bowl.
It's a good one, yeah.
And is he the greatest? No, but did he have a good career? Absolutely.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, though.
Absolutely. And you have to honor that. Like, you literally have to honor that. Anybody that doesn't is just, to be honest with you, anybody that doesn't is just hating. That's just, I'm just like, I can't be any more honest than that. There you go, Skylark. Absolutely.
That's good, yeah.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. He can thump. And that's why I'm like, for me, if you were to
he was the one he was the Falcons guy, right? He had a beast couple of years with the Falcons and then kind of just dealt with injury type issues and could never bounce back.
No, that's Dante Freeman.
Oh, I'm thinking Freeman. Okay, my bad.
So this is a different Freeman. But again, this kid was on that decimated Carolina team and still almost put up 1,000 yards. Like, he can play some ball. Hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy, man, on fire.
Well, so wait. It goes in the reverse order, too, because Ryan Tannehill was actually a receiver.
That is true. I remember that, yeah. I remember Tannehill being a receiver. I do remember that.
Eric Couch.
Never understood how he can be a receiver. The dude had no speed whatsoever. It's just like.
It happens. Hell, Jeff Samardzija should have been a Bear.
It's not about that these days, though. They want to make their money at their positions, and they have their egos are too high, and they just don't want to do that type stuff.
Well, true, but you also remember if you take it back a few years, with the when the tight ends started really becoming pass catchers and leading in touchdowns and receptions. I'm talking about like the Antonio Gates days, before Kelsey and them got boys. Right, we had New Orleans. We had New Orleans, Seattle, Green Bay, Jimmy Graham. Remember, Jimmy Graham had those seasons in New Orleans. And he was like, you can't pay me like a tight end when I'm putting up better numbers than the receivers.
Your receivers, yep.
Change the market, right? I would kick the tires in the hair.
You could even say flipping Greg Olsen, too. Greg Olsen may have been a tight end, but that guy was putting up better numbers than most receivers were, too.
Absolutely. To me, I read an article. I wish we could get him on the show. Like, anybody got any connections to Mike Martz, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Mike Martz had famously, or should I say infamously?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Got rid of Greg Olsen and brought in a former Ram by the name of Brandon Monoliuna.
Failed miserably.
He was our tight end. And I think Cutler had a decent little, exactly, Bucks. Exactly. And Olsen was killing for us. Then he went to Carolina and just
took off.
Like we had Travis Kelce before Travis Kelce. It was Greg Olsen.
That is true. That's a good point. Yeah. That is a good point. He was like a Travis Kelce. And the worst thing about it was Mike Martz, I remember, went on the radio recently. Recently, I think it was on WGN, if I'm not mistaken. And he straight up looked into that camera and said, I did not get rid of Greg Olsen. I never was even told until afterwards that we were shopping around Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen was the future of our team, and I was completely ticked off that they traded him. And I was like, bullshit. Everybody knows your system does not require a tight end who catches the ball. So nobody is dumb enough to think that is true.
He just, when you at the bullfight, they Olay. Yep. He just olayed that press conference because that's bull. That's pure BS. You cannot tell me that you have somebody as dynamic as Greg Olsen and you don't want to keep him. Yeah, after the fact, you just to save face, you're supposed to come out and be like, oh no, I never wanted to get rid of him. Okay, maybe you didn't want to, but you did. You still did, and you suffered for it. And it's okay, like I get it. They played the PR game, right? But I literally just want somebody to come up one day and say, you know what? I messed up. I shouldn't have let this guy go.
Yeah. He knew that halfway through that
season.
Make
mistakes. Like, I watch ESPN in the morning and I see Mike Tannenbaum and I'm like, you the reason the Jets don't have a Super Bowl. You.
Yeah.
You. It's you. It's all over your face. It's you.
And I know with all the success Pete Carroll has had, I still look at him and he still says to this day that he did not call that play. That was his offensive coordinator. And that offensive coordinator was, if I'm not mistaken, fired that offseason. But how the fuck do you not give Marshawn Lynch the ball? Again, that was an easy Super Bowl win right there if you give Marshawn Lynch the ball.
And this is where I say politics and policy comes into place because guess what? You're gonna give the ball to the person that's gonna give you the best chance to score if you want to win. If you want to play the policy game, you don't want the person that's like, I'm only here so I don't get fined, winning the Super Bowl for you. Of which I don't care about because you know what? You win the Super Bowl, he might talk. And you might actually want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what, Marshawn Lynch took that very well. Hey. Like I thought he was going to lose his shit.
The greatest running back in the history of sports did not score a touchdown in the Super Bowl,
Oh,
even in a winning effort, and he took it with respect, grace, and stride. But you also beat somebody 46-10. Big difference. Big difference. This guy is literally going to win you the game. Not just the game, the Super Bowl. He's going to win you the Super Bowl.
And that's
why don't you?
I still to this day can't think. I mean, and we could even go back into 2006, but it was nice hearing Alex Brown come out and say, I believe it was Alex Brown who said it, that he's pretty positive Thomas Jones was not 100% that game. But you would think with it being the Super Bowl, you'd be sucking it up and you'd play, unless he thought that it would affect him and he wouldn't be as good. But
didn't Thomas Jones come back in the game once they started losing?
Thomas Jones ran the ball 6 times all game.
But I'm saying, didn't he come back in the game?
That's true. He did. He did.
So
there was no excuse for you to put that hand on Cedric Benson, God rest his soul, Cedric Benson, and Rex Grossman. Those are not the two people that you want winning you a damn Super Bowl.
I say this, and I'll digress on what may come off as hate, but it's just transparency. The great Lovie Smith got in his own way by constantly saying, Rex is our quarterback. Rex is our quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're going to battle Rex Grossman versus Peyton Manning, and look what.
And I'm not sitting up here saying that Rex Grossman didn't do what he could do. I'm not sitting up here saying that Rex Grossman didn't have one of the prettiest deep balls that I've ever seen in life. Hell, so did Jeff Blake, but Jeff Blake didn't win you no Super Bowl either. He did have a very pretty deep ball, though. But when you rely on that defense and that running game, stick with the guy that got you there, fella. Like, come on, like, how hard is this? That's why I say I'm tired of these coaches trying to be the smartest man. Analytics, thanks, Oakland A's. Thanks, Moneyball. Yeah, right. Analytics is ruining sports. Yeah, that's a good point right there. It's a great movie. Though. Plus, it's a great movie. Or do I want a dog that's going to go out there and hand it to you? Yeah. Damn the numbers, man, because I can make numbers lie. People say numbers don't lie. I can definitely make numbers dance a little bit. I definitely can. That's true. Yeah, we looking at one of them right now, LeBron James. Numbers are dancing. Yeah, we'll get the basketball. Yep, you said bull hockey. I like that. James. That is bull hockey. I like that. So I know Skylark showed up a little late to the party, but because we already talked pretty much about the draft. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we'll do a quick one for you, Skylark. Like, you're asking who we would pick at 9. It's tough because I would truly just say the best available offensive tackle or the best available defensive pass rusher. It would be between those two. But one thing I'm going to throw out there, and I know JB didn't like it, but Levis is still there at 9. And there is still somebody who wants to come up and get a quarterback, and they're willing to trade a couple more extra picks for you just to move back to, say, 11 through 15. And you could possibly see Duan from Ohio State, that 6'8" tackle, and you pull out 3 extra draft picks and you get a 6'8" tackle with a 7'5" wingspan. I ain't turning that shit down. What do you think, JB? Do you want? Do you take a pass on somebody who could be the next Larry Allen? No. I'm not I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, too. But even if so, what if he's available in the next round? No, what if he's available? In the next round? Well, shit. You ain't passing up on that. Larry freaking Allen. Yeah, if he slips, that'd be just as good as like Brisker finding him. And we got Brisker in the 3rd round. Well, Brisker, we got him in the 2nd round, but he would have been a 1st round pick. He should have been a 1st round pick. I was speaking. He was a late 2nd round pick because we had 2 2nd round picks. And Lewis Sin, who were the top 2 safeties coming out of the draft, and I was like, here, either one of them. And Lewis Sin ended up going to the Vikings, but he got hurt. But yeah, we won that one. I mean, I would say this. if you were to look at just the overall consistency that we're looking for, we're not looking for a plug and play guy like we did with Jason Peters for the year. We're looking for somebody generationally to be there 10, 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
Be an anchor, right?
That's what we always should be looking at within a top 10 pick.
I would.
Skylark, who are you picking at 9? Here's a good question.
Guys, chime in. I know we've said this for those that weren't.
I want everyone in the chat light up who you think is available and who you're picking at 9. We're always going to have those obvious answers. If Jalen Carter is there at 9, I just hope to God he is not there at 9, so we don't even have to think about it. That's what I'm hoping on right now. But I mean, at the same time, I hope he's not there for the Lions to possibly choose too. Because if he turns into somebody that they think that he's going to be, hate for him to be in a Lions. Because I can see him being like another Dominican Sue type player if he can get that love for the game. But
the thought of having Aiden Hutchinson on the right and Will Anderson on the left,
that's ridiculous. If Arizona trades 3 and somebody comes up and gets a quarterback at 3 and Will Anderson possibly slips to the Lions, that is a nightmare scenario right there. That's where you go like, wow, I wish I did not trade all the way back to 9 now.
Oh, well, here's the thing about that too. If you trade back, if you trade back, then does that kind of solidify that that's the pick?
I would think so.
If you trade from 9 down to 13, or even
I would think so. If Will Levis is there at 9, I really only see that being the option of them trading back. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people that you can choose at 9 who would be damn good players. But, I mean, you just got to trust Poles and that team. I mean, it's hard to say trust the Bears organization to make the right choice. That's very tough.
Well, we don't have a choice now. We have to kind of hitch our wagon to that horse for them to be to make the right pick. But again, sliding down, like, I know people fall in love with having a multitude of picks, but like, pick the right guy.
It is. I mean, if that right guy you don't think is available and you think he is still going to be available if you trade back, then hey, go for it. I mean, that's where you just pretty much got to trust him when it comes down to a situation like that. And it's the same thing I say about Jalen Carter. If Jalen Carter is there at 9, you got to at least – Poles is going to literally go back on all his talks with him, everything, like just being like, all right, I think the love is there. I think he is going to be the guy everybody expected him to be, and we're willing to take a chance on him. But if he comes out at 9 and all of a sudden he puts on another 15, 20 pounds in the offseason, Poles, you just fucked yourself. Big time. That is a gamble that could either completely win you or completely lose. Compared to if you do take, say, like, Paris over, if he's still there at 9, I think that's because that's a generational type tackle. You have a few years to hopefully make sure he's going to get better and better and better. You have more time with that. But if Jalen Carter comes in and he turns into the person that everyone fears he's going to be, you're screwed, and you're screwed big time on that.
Again, if you're going to get Jones in the second round and move him to left tackle, then okay. Then you'll have the Jones boys at right and left tackle.
That'd be a cool combination right there. The
Jones I will let it slide, but are we guaranteed that we're gonna pick him? See, that's the problem. Like,
yeah, I don't think Jones is getting into the second round. I think he's gonna be a first rounder, maybe a late first rounder.
He could be, but that's why I said, like, this is not checkers. This is so very much chess.
Yeah.
When you look at best player available in this case, if the best player available is your offensive lineman, like, damn it, you can take him. Like, you got to take him.
Good point on that one, Jeremy, because I am a Sox fan, unfortunately.
Wait, put that back up. I was trying to catch it. That's
what I feel. That's what I feel comfortable.
Good one, Jeremy. Good one.
About since Poles came in here, because I do feel. I mean, I could be wrong, but I do feel Poles is like, you know what? I don't give a shit what front office wants to say. I'm building this team. I'm running this show. Compared to what Pace. Every time you saw Pace, he was there with Ted Phillips. Every time he was making a decision, Ted Phillips was right there next to him talking to him. Like, I remember when they drafted Justin Fields, like Ted Phillips was right there and they had to ask his permission to draft Justin Fields. Like, that's not how it freaking should work. I mean, you made the right decision on that one while your ass was out the door, hopefully. But, I mean, you know for a fact they did that with Mitch Trubisky as well, even though they didn't show it, but that happened as well. But I do feel comfortable enough to say that front office has no saying. It's the first time in a long time that I feel confident in saying that.
Time will tell. I wish I had a time machine that could go 2 weeks into the future.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, what can you do? You just draft is what, 2.5 weeks now?
The 27th, Thursday the 27th. So, yeah, about 2.5 weeks. Thursday after next. So, again, everybody, we're hoping that we will literally have a special guest on for the draft. We have been in some conversations with some people. And
I'm hoping so, too. And I think we should, honestly, even try to do a live. I mean, chime in. Do you think we should do like a live broadcast during at least the first round of the draft?
Link and do it in person if at all possible. I know, again, like I said, I'm going to reach out and see who's available, who's actually in town, and see if we can do like a little live, draft party. And even if it's just like 30 minutes, like we come on during the 5th pick, stay on until 15.
It won't be like last year though, where if we would have done it last year, we would have came out and just like, all right, the Bears traded back. All right, bye guys.
All right.
Did it like 5 times in a row. Bye guys. We'll see you next pick, guys. Won't be like, I mean, there's a possibility he's going to be trading back a little bit, but I don't. Unless Will Levis slips to 9, I don't see them even considering trading back from 9. Take the best available at 9.
At this point, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
I'll say there's another one on here. Would you want to trade back the first pick? Would be for Antoine Harrison, Matthew Bergeron, Wanyan Morris, or the center Ricky. You can get pretty good centers in the mid rounds.
I would wait 3rd, maybe 4th round.
Yeah, like mid rounds are pretty good with centers.
I'm big on Cedric Van Prin from Georgia. I'm like really, really heavy on him. Somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't draft him, that it's like a bad thing. But Voorhees from USC.
I remember Voorhees. That was the one who tore his ACL and came back and
did like 30 something.
See, that's where you look at him. You see that, and then you see
Jalen. He loves football.
Yeah, you see Jalen Carter. You're not worried about the love for the game for Voorhees. Like if Voorhees is a 6th round pick or something like that, rehab that knee, he's not going to be ready this year, maybe next year, the year after that. But I mean, especially if you're going to have Whitehair still at center, you're not going to re-sign Whitehair for big money at center after. I mean, this is last year of his contract.
But see, that's the thing. You're talking about a $9 million cap bump.
Yeah,
you let him go. But I'm not. And who's to say that you don't? Who's to say that Cody don't have a good season at center?
He could. Hey, he's a good.
He's good to anchor that next.
We will say he's going to be damn better than what we had. Greatness compared to what we had. And center is like everybody was. I mean, and I was up there too and ripping on. I didn't think Braxton Jones had that great of a year that people like. I mean, I was happy he played the whole season. He got the reps in, got all that. Great learning experience. He found his weaknesses and he can work through it in the offseason. I am really anxious to see what he can do this upcoming season.
Now, here's an example where I say numbers can lie, a la LeBron James again. Braxton Jones had numbers because he played. He didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
And we also didn't have enough tackle to back him up either.
He also, and a lot of people never talk about this, he led the NFL in pressures against quarterbacks, guys.
He did.
He did. I mean, I know it's a fifth round, right? Or was he a fourth rounder?
Yeah.
Fifth round rookie who played the entire season at the blindside tackle. You don't expect that great things right from the get-go. Hoping you're going to see greatness, and he got the experience, and you love seeing that type stuff. But I'm with you, JB. I would love for them to draft Voorhees if he's available in like the 6th or 7th round. Hands down, as a project type thing, that guy was great. He was easily going to be a first-round draft pick until he tore his ACL.
Agreed.
And that's the thing. You're going to bring up like, oh, yeah, other people did gambles like that, like, say, on Leatherwood. That's where you're also going with Voorhees showed the heart that he had after tearing an ACL and still going out there and lifting weights in the training camp. That says, I have the heart and the weight and the effort that is going to build my knee back up.
Here's the thing. There's a difference in drafting Chris Williams with a bad back and drafting Tevin Jenkins with a bad back. There's a difference in drafting Gabe Karimi with a bad knee and drafting Voorhees with a recent trade. It's a difference.
Yeah, those were all early round draft picks.
Big difference.
Getting a 6th, 7th round draft pick with first round potential. That's why I was always, and I know you weren't a huge fan of it, JV. I was happy when we got N'Keal Harry.
So I wasn't because I didn't feel we needed to give a pickup for him. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
But as far as what he was. I mean, I remember him at Arizona State. Like, he was a go-get-it guy. Like, I literally remember the kid. But I also was like, oh, you couldn't play. Like, you couldn't get on the field with Belichick. That's telling. But then you start hearing stories like Belichick is not the easiest guy.
No, a lot of people say that. Even Tom Brady asked him when he wanted to leave, said that.
Well, it was I'm trying to think of who the player was. Damn. I forgot who the player was, but Asante Samuels, who formerly played for Bill Belichick, came out and was telling his player, don't do it. Don't go to New England. Don't do it. Don't go play for dude. But who it was, a quarterback? I forget who it was, because he's on record. I don't know if he's trying to trade Mac Jones or if he's going to pick a quarterback. We're looking for something for Mac Jones. But I think who was he? See, I hate when I draw a blank. But Asante Samuels used to play for Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And he kind of let the cat out the bag with, as far as like, yeah, it ain't all what you think it is up there in Patriot land.
He's a great coach, knows his shit, but he's an absolute asshole. But, I mean, you look at what's going on there right now with Mac Jones. And, I mean, I was the person right from the get-go that says, you guys better not draft Mac Jones over Justin Fields. Like, I was going to lose my shit if they were drafting Mac Jones over Justin Fields. But at the same time, you brought in Mac Jones and you gave him an offensive coordinator with zero play calling experience in his first year. I was like, dude, when you are Bill fucking Belichick, there is no possible way that is pretty much throwing him to the wolves right now. Like, giving him no shot whatsoever, right. Giving him a rookie coach to go along with Bear fans have a rookie coach to go along with a second-year quarterback. But
remember, you also had a controversy after Mac Jones was drafted, because remember the first year they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Last year there was controversy, and a guy by the name of Bailey Zappi came in and actually ran the offense better.
Way better. He did. He was kind of like a perfect example of a Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton type thing. It was kind of similar. Kyle Orton came in and ran a very good offense and did not turn the ball over. Ran a safe offense, but the difference was Zappi, he was slinging them too, though. He was. I mean, didn't he put up 4 touchdowns versus the Bears in like the first half? Like, he was destroying them when they pulled Mac Jones out of that game. But it's interesting because, I mean, Tom Brady was a late round pick and everything like that too. Zappy's still there with Mac Jones, isn't he? I don't think he left yet. That should be a battle to see who's going to be your starting quarterback next year. So I'm trying to get a hold of our guest, and he's still having computer issues. So I don't know if he's logging in.
See if he can just jump on real quick via his phone or something.
That's what I actually just texted him that a little bit ago. I haven't heard back now. I was like, even if you just hop on your phone, we love to just get a quick little Bulls chat in. So waiting a little bit longer before we flip the Bulls. I'm hoping he can get on.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like, I'm excited this offseason. I am so excited, and I think first thing to say in regards to that is thank you, Lovie Smith, because that first round draft pick just gave us so much hope. That first pick gave us so much hope. It gave us a number one receiver, an early first rounder next year, including multiple picks this year. It really does make you feel comfortable because I'm not as worried. But you did bring up a great point in the running back situation. I am not sold on the running backs because I was a huge David Montgomery fan, and I would have signed him in a heartbeat. $6 million a year, which I'm pretty sure that's all the Lions gave him. I think they just gave him an extra year from what the Bears were offering him. Oh God, Jeremy, come on, dude.
What he say? What he say?
I don't think there's anybody in Chicago who.
So wait, we're officially segueing.
Jeremy, do you want to hop on with us right now, dude? I would, and I love you to death, dude. We work together. Not anymore, but we used to work together. So nothing will get torn apart. I just really want to know what you see in the love for Billy Donovan so we could actually see what possibly we're missing. Because I haven't seen one successful thing in Billy Donovan's coaching career other than college. Because, I mean, he didn't really do anything with OKC. He went on a couple of playoff wins and everything like that, but he's destroyed a lot this offseason. I'm not saying it's just Billy Donovan. I also think the front office put a shitty team for Billy Donovan. I'm in the middle of doing a presentation for work right now.
It was my first team. Dre was my first one.
It's all good. Hey, we will get you on one of these days, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy, please, whenever you get a chance, brother, come on in and talk. We
would love to hear
questions,
especially after we
chat up, Frank.
Especially after we lose the play-in, because Billy Donovan makes a horrible decision. All right, Skylark, do you have a mid-round wide receiver you mind?
Buddy number 8, my boy the Chef.
Mid rounds, are we talking like maybe 4th or 5th round? JB, do you have anybody in mind? I haven't really looked back on too much in the way of wide receiving cores.
I wasn't looking at wide receiver at all this draft because
I really wasn't either. I'm still looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. next year.
Well, that's why I said even if we
not looking taken away from that one.
That's got to be the worst secret ever kept. Put it this way, if the Panthers finish 1 through 3, and the Bears get the Panthers pick, and they don't pick, if they don't pick Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm gonna lose all faith in Ryan Poles.
Yes. Unless I'm hoping he doesn't just come out and just drop a major dump in the middle of the field this year. But I mean, that guy he looks, and I will say his name, I don't really care, but he's got like a Justin Jefferson type playmaking to him. Like I really see it. Like that guy is gonna be something special.
He might be one of my favorite people.
Like, I mean, and if we're talking about the only guy that I remember at like wide receiver, I'm trying to think of his name right now. That he will be a mid rounder, but he was from Stanford.
Stanford, yeah.
Yes.
I know you're talking about.
I think it was like Michael Wilson or something like that. I think. Like that's like the only wide receiver that I can see possibly in a 4th, 5th round that might be a steal because he's a speedster guy, ran a 4.3, and he was a good route runner too. Like he did have issues with dropping the football a lot though in college. That's what got him pushed back in the draft. But hey, Watson in Green Bay had that issue too, and halfway through the season he looked damn freaking good. He took off. So I mean that's really the only guy I can remember reading about at least like a few months ago or something like that. But yeah, that'll be for sure interesting.
his yards.
But yeah, that's really the only wide receiver I can kind of think of right from the get-go. But yeah, I'm just still sold on it. I'm hoping Carolina is going to be absolutely freaking awful, and we're going to be pulling
they will be.
They have a solid defense that'll keep them in games, but they don't have an offense who's going to put them over that.
Yeah, it's only
That edge. It'll keep them in games. They'll probably lose a lot of close-scoring games, but they're still going to lose. And if you can pull out a top 3 pick for us next year, like, my God, would that be sweet? Can you imagine if we pull out a first overall pick next year? Like, back-to-back first overall picks? Like, oh, man. All right, do we want to flip a little bit to basketball? Because I haven't heard from our guests, so I don't know. You're on mute, JB. Can you hear me, JB? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I pressed that on accident.
There you go. I was like, well, you couldn't even hear me say that you were on mute.
Rewind.
Yeah, right. All right. So Bulls. Hey, we got the play in tomorrow. Regardless, it's a playoff type atmosphere. It's going to be beyond excitement, but Toronto Raptors are not a team to mess with. They are a young, athletic team. They got decent size to them, but I'm going to say this right now, and Jeremy, I hope you're still watching. Feed the fucking ball to Vooch down low all game, because they don't have a great low post defense.
Right.
Vooch should be lighting them up. Vooch should be averaging 30 points a game easily this week, and probably even 10 assists to open up some Zach LaVine, freaking Kobe White wide open 3-pointers as well. This is a game where you need to put your ego aside. Stop trying to play isolation basketball, because if you play ISO basketball versus Toronto, you're losing. You are losing versus Toronto if you play isolation basketball. But if you feed the ball for Vooch in this game and you run your offense through Vooch, obviously DeRozan's going to get his mid-range shots every once in a while just to keep them honest, and they don't always go double-team Vooch all the time in the post. But this is a game where Vooch has to be your center point.
You got to put some respect on this.
And Drummond should get a decent amount of minutes, too, to get some offensive rebounds.
I'm going to say this. I would not be mad if I saw some times where you would see DeMar play more in that 6-man role. And I'm going to tell you why.
Wouldn't be against that.
You got to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Just slow the game.
You're not going to beat this. This is the thing about Billy Donovan right now, is technically it's ISO basketball from what you're seeing, but technically he does want to play a lot of fast pace too. You're not beating Toronto fast pace. Toronto will destroy you in a fast paced game. But if you slow the ball down, you get DeRozan, like how you said, 6-man. I like that. I'm not saying have him come off the bench or anything like that, but have him play more minutes with the bench unit, where you got Drummond down low getting those rebounds. And then when Vooch is in the game, you're feeding the ball to Vooch. Like that just has to be your number one choice in this game. Your decision in this game.
Do you want to see more P. Will? Because it's the Raptors going up against
young athletic type team, you want more P. Will as well.
He's got to take Siakam.
But this is the thing, like, because P. Will at the 4, who is the power forward for the Raptors?
Siakam, Pascal Siakam.
And he's not a dominant offensive threat, though, is he? He's a damn good two-way type player, like pretty much like what you.
Oh, what is the rookie of the year from last year? He's been deferring to him. I can't think of his name now. 6'8" wing guy.
All right, Jeremy just put up a good point here, and I actually looked this up too. You are correct. 0-2, losing by an average of 7 points. I agree. Both of those losses, the last 5 minutes was all DeMar DeRozan isolation basketball, and he was awful. He was missing all of his shots. Because the problem with isolation basketball, this is a young, lengthy, athletic type team. They are in DeMar's face constantly all the time, double teaming him. And DeMar needs to give the ball up. DeMar should not be putting up more than 20 points this game, in my opinion. He should be putting up more than 10-plus assists. because he should have wide open, because they're going to double team him, and they're going to double team him all night. And this is where Zach LaVine, you're hoping, is going to put up like a 30, 40 piece.
I would run the offense through Vooch in the low post to purposely slow it down.
Yes.
Then rely on missed shots because Toronto's not the greatest shooting team. Now, not saying that Van Vliet can't get hot. Right?
He can. He absolutely can get
Definitely can. But I want to rely on something that we have not done all year, our transition game. Like, can we be a fast break team?
The most inconsistent thing about our game this season was transition points. Especially against teams where you should have a very good transition game in. They did not put up transition points in it. The Raptors turn the ball over a lot. All right, they do. That's the reason why they are and they're 7th seed, right?
No, are they?
Or are they the 8th seed? Because we were 10. It goes 10
plays 7, right? 8 plays 9.
So they're 7th seed.
They're 7.
But like when it comes down to that being the 7th seed, they could have easily possibly been a top 5 seed. They should not have been playing in the play-in tournament. But they had a lot of issues where they turned the ball over a lot. And the teams that did beat them killed them in transition points. We don't do that. We really don't. We did do that versus the Lakers that first game against the Lakers in those last few weeks ago, where we dominated them in the transition. But very inconsistent in Billy Donovan's system.
For what? For Billy Donovan.
What up, Loki? Wait, no, playing's not 10 versus 9, isn't it? It's 10 versus 7 and 8 versus 9.
8 versus 9, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's 10 versus 7, 8 versus 9. Why would you do a 10 versus 9?
It takes the
college. There's 2 play-in games in each conference. 10 versus 7, 8 versus 9. Because Jeremy, you're going to make me look this up now, Jeremy. That makes no sense. Why would the Bulls be playing a 10 versus 9, and then the Heat would be playing the Hawks 7 versus 8? That doesn't make sense. Now you're going to have me look that up.
Yeah, so it should be. Oh, wait, no, because they play the Raptors. The Raptors are 9.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you
I think
do
it goes 10-9, 7-8, and then right, because if you lose, I know what it is. Because if you lose 7-8, you have a chance to jump back in.
Yeah.
So
it goes 7 versus 8.
Right.
And
then
if they lose, then they still have to play the winner of 10 versus.
They have to play to get back in. Right.
Okay, I got that now. My bad.
No, he's right. He's right. Jeremy's right.
My bad. I don't follow the play-in shit because I think that's a stupid fucking rule that the NBA made just to get a couple of extra games in there to make a couple extra bucks. My opinion. It's like getting a participation medal for not making the playoffs.
I hate the play-in.
I do too. I think it's stupid. You happy about it this year because at least you get to watch another Bulls game. But at the same time, the Bulls shouldn't be in it. They don't deserve to be in it. The LA Lakers, actually, they finished 7, didn't they? They still don't deserve to be in it.
You know why they finished 7? For one, they won that Jazz game, the first one. It shouldn't have bad officiating. And I know people are like, no, LeBron took over.
Oh, God, I hope.
It never went to damn overtime.
Where's our LeBron James guy in here? Is Bullets on here?
2, where's my brother Bullets? I hope he is on.
I don't know if he's on today.
So 2, you saw what happened when they played the Clippers.
Oh my God, they got their asses spanked.
Then they played the Suns. Watch this. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. None of them played. They should win that game.
And I'm even going to enlighten everybody with this. They have a play-in game where they are playing the Timberwolves, who just suspended Rudy Gobert.
Which
it's just like, what? I feel, in my opinion, that they are like just feeding the way to make sure LeBron James.
Let me tell you why the Timberwolves are stupid. I would just find Rudy Gobert.
I honestly think the NBA forced them to freaking suspend Rudy Gobert.
But here's the thing. you want the Timberwolves to win because you want Ant-Man. You want him to stay.
Yeah.
What better way to stay than to go out and beat LeBron and put him out his misery?
It's going to be tough for them to beat the Lakers without Rudy Gobert.
Ant-Man can do it.
He can.
And Cat Towns is back. Like they have a shot. What my man say in Dumb and Dumber? So you saying there's a chance?
Yeah, it's like more like 1 in a million. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not saying that the Timberwolves can't beat the Lakers because the Lakers, to me, were exactly like the Bulls this season. Very inconsistent. All right, you don't know what Anthony Davis is going to give you. He puts up a 30-piece game, and then all of a sudden he shits the bed and puts up a 10. You just don't know what he's going to get. LeBron James, like he had a very good game this past game that got them that 7th seed. But everyone's saying he's like, well, he made 6 3-pointers. He made 4 out of those 6 3-pointers when the game didn't matter in the last 3 drives. But at the same time, he also missed, I think he was like, 6 for 16 or something like that. LeBron James should not be shooting up 16 fucking 3-pointers. He's not a good 3-point shooter. If he's going to put up 16 3-point shooters or 3-point shots, the chances that you're going to win that game are very slim. You let LeBron James shoot that 3-point.
And going back to those,
you just keep him out of the lane.
Random.
Kudos to that guy for still doing what he's doing at his age. I will never define greatness when it comes down to LeBron James, but I'm one of those people where I can't wait till he fucking retires. Because I don't like it's just there is no excuse why the NBA should still be about LeBron James. This is not LeBron James anymore. You're just dissing all these young star players who are up and coming in this league.
To me, he's a hangers on right now at this point.
Yeah.
Teams with these records in the regular season have only been
very annoying.
Actually win a championship.
I don't like LeBron James in case anybody didn't notice in the chat. And I don't think JB does either. So
and I'm actually a Laker fan who cannot.
I've always been.
I can't root for my team.
No, I always rooted for the Lakers when they had. Magic was still pretty young for my age, but I was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. I will still take Kobe Bryant on my team over LeBron James any day of my life. I would take that. And when Kobe was there, it was a different Lakers team. It was a fun Lakers team to watch. This is just. And I'm not always blaming that on LeBron James, too. I blame that a lot on the media and all that other crap, too, because they just immediately keep going.
There's been 1 seed,
but
3 2 seeds, 1 number 3, 2
fucking
number 6,
goddamn Lakers.
1 number 7, 1 number 10.
But it would be nice to see the Bulls rock out this play-in, but they'd have to win 2 games to get into technically into the playoffs, and then you'd have to go up against the Bucks after that, and you're not beating the Bucks. There's no shot you're beating the Bucks.
So here's the question. Let's address the elephant in the room.
No 500s.
Nobody's expecting the Bulls to really do anything. Do you blow it up after this season? After they lose, do you blow it up?
I don't think you are because of the fact that you just gave your head coach an extension.
Might want to get one of those records.
So
unless you're going to completely blow it up to the T and you're going to start rebuilding around a team that he's going to want, but Billy Donovan's not going to want to blow up. He didn't come to Chicago for a blow up. Like if you were going to blow up this team, then you would have never given Billy Donovan an extension.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that.
My opinion.
Janky ass.
And then Loki over here.
They don't know what's telling me.
There's a lot more years to come where we're going to be.
That has to be.
All right. And I will say this, and I will go out on record, Jeremy, I love you. I am not a Billy Donovan fan. All right. But when Lonzo Ball went out, Billy Donovan's chances of winning in this league went to shit. Because he needs that playmaking point guard. And you can blame that on front office, too, by not trying to go out and find a playmaking point guard for Billy Donovan. I will 100% admit that as well, because I'm not a fan of this front office. I'm not a fan of this ownership or anything. But when Lonzo Ball went out, this team went to shit. Because he was a point guard who was a glue that put the defense into a hole, put the offense into a hole. Like everybody was just like we're talking about transition. You remember watching transition games when Lonzo Ball was healthy here? It was like freaking watching a Globetrotter game.
It was.
It was so pretty. But the fact that you still didn't go out and try to find somebody to replace Lonzo destroyed any chances that Billy had. And I'll never forgive Billy for what he did to Vooch. Because Vooch is a beast in this league. He still can be a beast in this league, but you don't use him the right way, he's not going to be a beast.
I would venture to say this. If you don't, hold on. Did you see the Lakers lead the league in free throw attempts?
They also were one of the worst in free throw percentages, though. Too.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they keep giving them to kind of counterbalance.
They were also one of the worst. But yeah, I agree. But I mean, and LeBron James still comes out and says that he doesn't get fouls. Yeah.
Again, I can show you how numbers lie.
Yeah.
Mom, so for those that don't know, my mother is a diehard Lakers fan.
I love
the earliest memory of basketball I have was about 4 years old on CBS when it used to come on Channel 2. It was a tape delay and the thing looked like a neon light. My mother was having me watch Magic Johnson. That's part of the reason why I wanted to go to Michigan State, and I did, because my mom was such a Magic Johnson fan, and I'm watching Showtime like since I was little. Then, like in 1984, I could choose what shoes I wanted. I saw this dude dumping over the world, and I was like, "Yeah, I love the Lakers, but I like this guy. His name is Michael Jordan."
Yeah.
So then I had the love between the Lakers and the. My mom used to walk with a Lakers starter jacket. That I
think I own a Lakers starter jacket.
Yeah. I used to ask to borrow that.
Thibs and Billy run the same kind of offense realistically. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can say that, but I mean, Thibs never had a good offense either, though. He just had somebody by the name of Derrick Rose.
Tibbs will run you into the ground through his offense, and it is a motion in one. But the difference between Donovan is call a spade a spade. He does not know what to do with Vooch. And that will still be his downfall because now it's playoff time. And if you don't prove that you know how to use Vooch, why do you keep him?
Yeah, this is the last year. But there are discussions that they want to bring him back. But why? And this is not a knock on Vooch.
See what I'm saying? Like a tiger doesn't too much change his stripes, right?
Yeah.
So if you're telling me Billy Donovan's most successful ever center, college or pro, was Joakim Noah. And that Joakim
we're talking
Noah,
college too, okay.
But the Joakim Noah in college was nothing like the Joakim Noah we had here in the Bulls.
No, completely different player.
That team belonged to Al Horford and Corey Brewer. You
Yep.
don't even remember Corey Brewer, 6'9", small.
I remember Corey Brewer.
I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, I remember Corey Brewer.
You look at the small success that Billy Donovan has had with OKC. It was Kendrick Perkins and Steven Adams were his centers. That tells you he doesn't value offensive production from his centers. He values defense.
It's all guards and defense.
There you go.
Guards and defense. That's all he needs. That's all he wants. Then why is Vooch here? Why did you give up 2 first-round draft picks to bring Vooch here if you were bringing in Billy fucking Donovan?
Because I think AK jumped the gun one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he thought Vooch could be Joker-esque, which was weird to me because if you look at the stats he had in Orlando, yeah, he was scoring, but they were winning like 13, 14, 15 games. Like they weren't doing it.
They were awful.
So
he was an all-star and he was dominating.
I can be a 25-point game scorer on a bad team. That's the easy part. But when you bring me here to compliment me with other all-stars a la Zach LaVine, a la DeMar DeRozan, you have to use my talents the way that best suit this team. Billy Donovan doesn't know how to use that guy.
Nope.
Vooch could easily right now be about a 21, 22-point game guy.
At the least.
10 rebounds, 3 assists.
At the least.
1 block. Easy.
And he can go and be a beast on any team that needs an offensive threat.
Easy.
Like, he can easily be your number one choice on multiple teams in this NBA.
But when you play the ISO ball that he's trying to play, but he doesn't have Russell Westbrook as the point guard, that changes it, because one thing you knew Russell was going to do, he was going to play defense, he was going to score, he was going to rebound, and he was going to drop dimes.
Just didn't win.
You're looking for three different people on the Bulls to do what Russell did by himself.
Yeah.
That's not a what do you call it? Whatever for success. It's not a blueprint for success.
Yeah.
Because now, when we ultimately look at the ISO ball that is happening, it's like DeMar. Okay, Lonzo. Second unit come in. Kobe. P. Willie. It's like everybody's taking a turn. Where's the cohesiveness? First of all, where are the people that can score without having to put the ball on the floor?
I laid out this stat. I don't know if it was last week or the week before that, but I'm going to lay it out again. And I don't care what anyone says. This has to do with coaching as well. Mm-hmm. But the Bulls this year, when they have 27 more assists in a game, are 14-1. 14-1, people.
14-1.
14-1. When they have 27 or more assists. Why the hell don't we move the ball more? Because Kobe White had a very good year this year. I love how I still would like consistency at the three-point line. That's probably one thing that I would still like to see from him. Mm-hmm. But his dribbling has improved so much. His passing has
lateral. Yeah, absolutely.
His defense has improved a lot. Like, he improved a lot of things this offseason. And when he got hot, he got hot. When you moved the ball and you found him wide open at the three-point line, he was mostly knocking him down. When Zach LaVine was coming off of screens and getting one, he finished the league as the best three-point shooter.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah,
when it comes down to catch and shoot.
Okay. Like, and that's what I was talking about.
Not isolation three-pointers. Yeah. Catch and shoot three-pointers. But we don't move the ball enough because we don't have a point guard who moves that ball like that, like we did when we had Lonzo. And I do like the Patrick Beverley signing.
Even when we had Lonzo, we kind of got exposed.
Yeah.
Now
because we were playing small ball too much.
We were playing small ball. Like Javonte Green, try hard guy.
Not a small power forward.
He ain't a power forward.
No. And big heart, plays big, but he's not big. Said perfectly in that. What was that movie called? I can't remember the name of that movie. It's a Disney movie too about Texas Western. I can't remember. Glory Road. Glory Road. Love that movie. That was one of my favorite scenes that they said in this favorite sayings that they said. And like, what does it have to do with David Lattin? Because these boys are big, but they don't play big, or they play big, but they're not big.
They're not right.
You got to go out and get bigs because you're not winning in the postseason unless you have a freaking shooting montage like the Golden State Warriors had for all those years.
Right.
You're not winning.
But even with that, you said something very telling, Frank, when you mentioned Kobe White and his consistency. If I'm not mistaken, Kobe White has shot over 35%. This only is
he improved. He improved
for his career. It's like I want to say like it's something
low 30s. I think was his career.
No, I think he's like right at 35, 36, somewhere around.
Okay.
Because he was last year was his best season. I know he almost hit 40, but again, that was a different offense.
Mm-hmm.
The offense that we have now, where he's more ball dominant, well, hell, he's got to go to the hole. So he's not taking as many threes, but now the contested threes, the percentage has went up because now he's got the ball in his hand. Whereas last year he was doing more catch and shoot.
Yeah. Do the Bulls have a first-round draft pick this year?
Hold on, what's this? 2020? Yes,
they do. Okay.
Or wait.
Okay.
Wait.
I thought we didn't, and we didn't, and we had to count on somebody losing or something like that.
Remember, the Roots trade, you cannot trade back-to-back first-round picks. So
okay, so we got the first rounder last year, so we don't. That sucks.
We got Dalen Terry last year.
Yeah.
Right. So this year, right, we don't have him.
Dalen Terry, the best, comedic bench player that you could ever have with the funny face.
Here we go again. We talking about a regime who gave us 5 point guards on the roster. 5. They gave us a 6'2", 6'4" power forwards. What confidence do I have in this regime?
Zero. I gave up on him. This honestly, I think it was to the point where I hope Dalen Terry I hope he does great things. Honestly, I really hope he does. And I know you drafted him thinking he could possibly be your point guard, but it made no fucking sense.
Have we had Dalen Terry on the team before?
No.
You sure? I'm gonna tell you who it was.
I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember.
I'm gonna tell you exactly who it was. Justin Holiday. Same player.
Justin Holiday was a better shooter, though.
Better shooter, but same.
Yeah, he was a better shooter, but same cat. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that. But I mean, it made no sense why you didn't draft a point guard or a big man or a power forward. And now you don't have a first-round draft pick this year. What are you going to do going into the offseason? I mean, you don't have a first-round draft pick, so why are you going to blow it up unless you're going to possibly blow it up?
What free agent wants to come here? For what?
Nobody's going to want to freaking come here. But, I mean, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, I mean, you have – and that's the thing that frustrates me. You have talent on this team.
Absolutely.
You do. I don't care what people say. You have talent on this team.
You have talent. You have individual talent.
Yes, there is no excuse whatsoever that this team should be playing for a play-in team. Like, especially how they went through that stretch last year where they were number one in the NBA the first half.
Lonzo got hurt and they fell to 4.
Yeah, and then they fell to 4, yeah. And I still, after the offseason, I didn't see anything that came out to me that said that they improved their team. I liked the Drummond signing. I did. But all that was a little nice step up above Tristan Thompson. So, and you didn't play Tristan Thompson. So, I mean, you're an idiot. Because you're a fucking idiot, yeah.
But it's 2 signings I like coming in. Caruso and Drummond. 2 reasons. They don't need the ball, and they play defense.
Yes. But the problem is, and I mean, Caruso, love him. Love him to death. Love his energy, love his play. But the fact that he plays so hard, he has been turned into a very injury prone since he has joined the Bulls because he plays so hard and he hurts himself.
True.
Which sucks. I don't want that to happen. But if you have an all-around defense, he shouldn't have to be playing that hard where he is hurting himself.
You shouldn't. But in this, so let me throw something out at you. In this era of small ball, going into next season, I don't believe Billy Donovan or AK or Mark Eversley for that matter, whoever you want to throw.
Whoever he is, like nobody really even knows who he
is.
He's
technically the GM.
Yeah, he's the assistant GM. Right. He gets his coffee. That freaking guy does nothing for the team. It is all
it's all Arturus.
Yeah.
But if you brought Pat Beverly in to what? Spark the team this year? And you don't bring Pat Beverly back next year? And you don't have Lonzo? You don't have Lonzo next year?
You're not going to have Lonzo. We'll just put it out at that. Lonzo,
and the whole Dragic thing didn't work. He's gone. Dalen Terry, you don't know what he's really going to be.
He's not getting enough playing time.
Got to make a decision on P. Will. Like, what are the Bulls really doing?
I'm going to say this. And
make a decision on Vooch.
Yeah.
What are you really doing?
Would I bring back Vooch as
Kobe as well? Because you got to make a decision.
Yeah, on Kobe White too, and Io too. You're going to bring back Io. He's not going to cost that much.
Io.
This is last year. He's only got a. Yeah, he was a second rounder.
So right. So
you have to re-sign him this year too.
That's it.
Which I would re-sign Io because a second rounder. He's a very good player, but you shouldn't have to break the bank for him. That guy needs to improve his 3-point shooting because he has so many wide open 3-point shots that he misses.
His left hand is
and it's very inconsistent. But when it comes down to Vooch, would I love to bring him back? Yeah, but if Billy Donovan isn't going to change his system and actually adapt a center scorer, there's no point in wasting your money to bring back Vooch.
You just wasted those.
It's a waste of money. And this is not a hit on Vooch because Vooch will get a signing the moment that you decide that you don't re-sign him. He will get signed. And I'll tell you somebody who would love to have Vooch, and that's LeBron James in the fight.
I'm say he's going to LA next year because
the Lakers would love to have Vooch.
He played at USC. They're gonna move. They're gonna move Hachimura to the 4.
I'd rather him see him in the Clippers. Sorry, Ma.
Well,
As long as LeBron James is with the Lakers, I can never root for the Lakers anymore. I just can't.
I just feel they're going to move Hachimura to the backup 4, or maybe even the starting 4, because I don't know if Anthony Davis is really going to try to stay, but that's another story for another podcast. But it makes no sense for Vooch to waste his talent here. He's coming into his prime. No, I'm sorry, he's in his prime.
And the only reason he's going to stay here is if you're going to overpay for him, and you better not overpay for him because you're not playing him to his potential.
But see, that's the thing. You overpay him to trade him in a year or 2.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes down to that, I will still say the biggest trade that should happen, and everybody can say, what the hell are you talking about? It's DeMar DeRozan. He's never going to have a trade value like he is now, like he had last year, like he is now. You're not going to get a high enough trade value. If you're going to go out and get a
who would you look at, Frank? Who would you look at?
I don't know. I'd have to research it and see the more dominant power forwards in the NBA that would possibly get a trade with DeMar DeRozan, veteran type
that
thing.
That position is almost
I mean, it's something that I would want to look at. So I couldn't really give an answer on that right now. But P. Will this season, and I know I was always the person who said trade him. He isn't shit. He had a great year. In my opinion, he had a very damn good year, a very good increase. He is showing the one thing that he never showed, and that was actually I have a total brain fart right now. Aggressiveness.
Okay.
He was never aggressive over the past few years, and it drove me friggin' nuts. I'm seeing him come off screens and putting up shots. I'm seeing him take 3-point shooters without even thinking about it. And his stupid shot that he had the year was like the B.J. Armstrong shot where he went down so low and lofted that son of a bitch in the air so damn high. He's improved his shot so much this season too. So I would be that type of person where I would say trade DeMar for a power forward, and P. Will replaces DeMar at that 3 where he deserves to be. He is not a 4. He shouldn't be a 4. He can guard a 4. He really can. He's a strong, athletic, lengthy type guy. He can guard a 4 if we ever need to stop a 4, but he should not be as a permanent position as a 4.
He shouldn't. And like I said before, that is a fleeting position because if you go through the NBA right now, unfortunately the Bulls have no. Again, Jeremy, you spot on.
Right, yeah.
Which is what we're talking about, like
because we still have Lonzo in their contract.
But what are you getting in return? Because if you look at, and I'm just throwing it out here, top 5 power forwards in the NBA.
I'm actually looking that up right now.
I'm going to throw some names because you damn near can't name them. Karl Anthony Towns, who's technically playing power forward because of Rudy Gobert. Yeah. DeMonte Sabonis, right? Sacramento. Jared Allen in Cleveland, right? Then this is where it gets dicey. On paper, there's a dominant power forward. He just never plays basketball.
Is that Anthony Davis?
No, his name is Zion Williams.
Zion Williams too. Yeah, that's it.
Then rounding out 5, I have
Anthony Davis is one of them too. He is a power forward right now. I'm actually
looking him up.
There's actually another one that we didn't even think of because he is a. I mean, but I take him. No, Draymond Green. Draymond Green's a power forward.
Undersized.
He is undersized. I kind of similar to like a P-Dub for me in that.
Right. I'm not.
So I don't know if I take
him
because he's only 6'8", 6'9". Draymond. He's not. He is kind of
only 6'6", 6'7".
No shit, really.
Yes. Yeah, he's a Michigan State guy. So, my thing is when you look at what the traditional power forward is, that position almost doesn't exist. But hell, I would take a DeMonte Sabonis on this team. Like, give me somebody that wants to.
All right, we got a Billy Donovan here who knows Billy Donovan's system. Grant Williams in Boston. Yeah, but Boston ain't giving up Grant Williams.
Hey, Jeremy, the problem is they got Grant playing center.
Yeah, he's not a center, and that's why Boston's playing undersized too, and really has been struggling.
Technically, Tatum is the power forward.
They keep putting Grant Williams at center. They ain't going to no NBA Finals.
I mean, that's what he is. That's what he plays. But no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's Grant Williams, and then it's the other Grant from Tennessee. That's what he's talking about. Because technically,
Grant Williams, he's a free agent. Okay.
Technically, on paper, PJ Tucker was a power forward.
Yeah, Yeah, he ain't a power forward. But, I mean, like you said before, Javonte Green is listed as a power forward too. 6'5". He's not a power forward, people. This small ball type stuff, it doesn't work in the postseason unless you just have dominant offensive scoring, which we don't have.
We have ISO ball scoring.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable if you don't have anybody around you.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for the Bulls to get a Klay Thompson-like player.
Oh, my God, would that be
Luke Kennard type player, like a Tyler Hero type, just a catch and shoot guy. Like, to me, if you want to shoot 100 threes, give me somebody that's known for shooting threes.
Yeah. We miss getting that like Kyle Korver like we had back in the days with the Derrick Rose type.
I mean, they exist. We just didn't pick them up.
No, I agree. You think to just throw out his name because I don't think Brooklyn's re-signing him. Seth Curry. Seth Curry was a damn good spot up 3-point shooter coming off or catching 3-point shooter.
So here we go again. We're gonna bring up Brooklyn, who has not one star, and they're better than the Bulls.
Yeah.
And people be like, oh, but they had Kyrie, they had KD. Did they really? Because those guys missed a lot of games.
They sure did. Kyrie might be available if you want to pay him $260 million. No, I'll pass on that. We don't have the money anyway until we get off freaking Lonzo Ball's contract right now. We don't have the money to sign any big-time free agent unless you're trading one.
We did that to ourselves.
Yeah. And it's sad. It really is. It's sad because I feel bad for Lonzo Ball. I feel bad that knee is still messing him up. I mean, it just brings up Derrick Rose type vibes, man, with those bad knees where somebody – I'm not giving Lonzo Ball's potential to be what Derrick Rose could have been. I'm not at all doing that. But Lonzo Ball had an opportunity to be a phenomenal player, a phenomenal two-way point guard. And
Here we go again. Chicago taking the fly on the injured guy.
Yeah.
The injured guy, as we always do. I can't tell you. Again, Laker family, Laker in the blood. Lonzo was hurt there.
Yeah.
He was hurt in the world.
With the Pelicans, yeah.
Like, he's always been hurt. So you thought that your subpar training staff was actually going to get him to play more games?
Everybody always said LeBron James pretty much traded away Lonzo Ball. What the hell was he thinking? He might not have made a bad decision when it comes. Some of the other trades that he made were probably really bad.
Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma, and Caruso too, man. Caruso, you wish LeBron could have an Alex Caruso on that team right now, or even what Pat Bev is doing for us once we signed him. You wanted him to do that type stuff for LeBron and the Lakers too. But LeBron was never giving him the opportunity to do that type stuff.
Well, again, we talking about players that should be playing their position with the ball, as opposed to somebody who's just ball dominant and doesn't have to be. LeBron doesn't have to be ball dominant. They just let him be ball dominant, and that's gonna be the day. Yeah, he gonna score 36 points, but y'all not gonna win that. That's why I said again. That's another reason why I say numbers lie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the greatest passer ever. Leads the whole NBA in turnovers ever, all time.
You're talking about LeBron?
Yeah, that means you're making bad decisions. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a pass first. Never seen a guy pass first. Score 40.
You're not going to give somebody who's a pass first player GOAT conversations. You want that ball and you want
to Magic, because Magic also was different.
Magic, yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't think about Magic. Magic's on my Mount Rushmore over LeBron James. Sorry, Bullets. In case you chime in later on and watch our show, Bullets.
Bullets.
LeBron James is not on my Mount Rushmore of basketball players. I mean, my Mount Rushmore is obviously Michael Jordan. It is Kobe Bryant. It is Magic Johnson. And it is Larry Bird. Those are my 4 Mount Rushmore players. And honestly, I don't even know if I put him in my top 5.
He's not in my top 5.
Yeah, I don't even think he's in my top 10, obviously, but I don't even know if I put him in my top 5.
And I'm just gonna switch one guy out. Because Kobe and Mike are so eerily similar, I have Kareem.
There's nothing wrong with that decision. Kareem's I'm younger than you, so I think that's probably why the Kareem was never really. I mean, even though Kareem was later years with Magic and everything as well.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Kareem had been the NBA scoring leader for 20-something years before LeBron James, maybe even longer than that before LeBron James came. But like this many people said Kareem was the best. Karl Malone was number 2, and nobody said he was the best.
I wish I would have downloaded that one video that just floated around and everything that came up again, where it was asking Michael Jordan, are you the greatest basketball player of all time?
He'll never say
Michael Jordan said no. And then they said, why? He's like, it is not a fair conversation to have when there were greats before me that I never got the opportunity to play against. So I cannot say I'm greater than them if I never got a chance to play them. And that is the most perfect thing that you can say. And then they flipped to LeBron James's little barbershop talk where it was like, once I won it with Cleveland, I became the greatest of all time. I am the greatest of all time. There's nobody in the conversation with me. It's just like,
yeah, let's get
I love it.
On the show.
Before the Last Dance came out, Scottie Pippen came out and had a conversation about that as well. It's like, if you have to literally constantly remind people that you're the greatest of all time, you cannot come out and say that you are the greatest of all time. Okay. The people should be saying that, not you telling them.
Not just people, but your peers.
Yeah, and now Scottie Pippen says LeBron's the GOAT because he's still butthurt about the last.
Well, he's mad at Mike, but that's in his whiskey sales suck. But
yeah,
Scotty, if you're watching, come on the show. We'd love to talk to you.
I would love to have you on here.
Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, let her rip.
Isaiah, if anybody knows Isaiah Thomas, please come on, get it off your chest.
I will tell you right now, Isaiah, if you're a fan and you're watching right now, we will not bring up the fact that you expect Michael Jordan to apologize because that's not going to happen. Anybody who knows Mike, he's not going to apologize.
Mike don't hardly do interviews anyway.
No, he doesn't. Hey, Michael Jordan, if you're a huge fan, you could always come on. I ain't going to complain about that. That would be something special.
I'll buy him that $200 cigar. He won't. I'll do it. But at the same time, we say these things to put things in perspective.
Scotty, thank you. Well said, man. That's exactly what I was saying.
Scott.
100%
correct. You tell everyone. When you're great, they tell you.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. And that's why I say in this generation, the whole participation trophy stuff, that's all LeBron and them.
Yeah.
That's
not just LeBron. I'm not going to say it's not. It's just
because it's kind of like face. He's the face.
Yes.
He's the face.
Yes.
Because like I always famously say, and I'm not again, fans. I'm not trying to down LeBron. I think he is a great player. He's a great player.
Hands down, he's a great player. I'll never say he's not a great player.
I do think he's a fragile individual, but insecure. But I digress because I would love to have a conversation. But when you sit up here and you promote and idolize somebody for losing in the big game, well, guess what? I saw with my own eyes the Buffalo Bills lose 4 straight Super Bowls in a row, and nobody considers them the greatest team ever.
Nope.
In today's era, they would be the greatest team ever because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost.
Like, I understand how hard it is to get to as many NBA finals as LeBron James gotten to. That is so damn hard. I am not going to second that. But you're considering 4-9? He is in the NBA finals. 4-6. 4-6. If you're considering a 4-6 in the NBA finals because he got the 10 finals, which was 4 more than Michael Jordan, who got 6-0, there's no way I would choose 4-6 over.
How do you choose losing? Magic is 5-4. He's been 9 times.
Yeah, like
Jerry
it makes no
9
sense.
times. He's 1-8. No, I'm sorry. He go 9-8. He's either 1-7 or 1-8, and he's the logo, and nobody calls him the greatest.
Yeah. I mean, even Golden State. Seth Curry. He's got 4 as well. And what is he? 4-2?
He lost 2.
He lost 2, right? So he's 4-2 compared to 4-6. How are you saying LeBron has?
And he won on LeBron's watch.
Yeah, LeBron did win the one, which was considered a great comeback. Don't get me wrong, but that was also when Draymond Green got kicked out of the game. Huge piece to get kicked out of the game. If I'm not mistaken, one of their big shooters was hurt too. Who was it?
No. I'll do you one better. Steph Curry fouled out for the first time.
Yes, I remember Steph Curry fouled out as well.
So
I do remember that as well.
That plays a part.
Steph Curry never fouls out.
And Kyrie.
And they were soft fouls too. Soft fouls. And I believe Iguodala didn't play.
Well, a lot of people say that Tim Donahue, whatever, however you say his name, had something to do with that. But again, that's a conspiracy theory. That's something on the podcast. But I'm going to leave you with this before we get to shout-outs. Emmitt Smith has 3 Super Bowls all-time.
Ron James in the NFL, man.
In NFL history. And I love every single one of our fans, but not one of you is ever going to say that Emmitt Smith
is the greatest.
I got like 5 to 6 people before you mention Emmitt Smith.
I would not even put Emmitt Smith in my top 5. I would not. And Emmitt Smith
he got the record.
LeBron James, same with LeBron James. LeBron James has the record. But when you played for 7 more years than Michael Jordan, and everyone's just like, well, isn't that on Michael Jordan? I was like, that's not on Michael Jordan because the game was totally different back then. It was so violent back then. You beat the shit out of people. LeBron James would not have played 21 years in the NBA if it was back
Absolutely
then.
Not.
There's no shot whatsoever that would happen. Like, I would like to look up who had the most, how long did Kareem play?
Kareem played for 20.
So he was like 21 years too. Okay, so he's one of the few in that era.
It's like Kevin Willis. It's like Kevin Willis, Robert Parrish, Kareem, Vince. Like they all played. Kobe, they all played.
I remember Vince. Yeah, Vince had a long career too. Yeah. And Vince played in both eras, which was kind of
well.
Even Kobe had 17, 18 years too, didn't he?
20.
He had 20 as well. God damn.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Would we still be having this conversation right now if Michael Jordan played 20 years? There's no shot whatsoever.
So Frank, you got me talking. But we need to have this conversation because I would love to have a Michael Jordan conversation with them.
Oh yeah.
But Michael's second year, he lost to a broken foot. He came back. I think he played 13 games or whatever it was. So that's the season. Then the whole baseball thing. That's 2 seasons.
Mental breakdown because of what happened with his dad.
But he came back and played 19 games. They lost to the man. So that's 3. Call it 2.5. I'll be generous. Then after 98, the man took 3 more years off.
And still came back and finished top 10.
Came back and played 2.5 more years.
Still finished top 10 in scoring.
What are we talking? So imagine if Michael never took
those years off. Yeah.
That scoring title stuff would be it'd probably be at 43, 42,000 points. Easy.
Yeah.
If he never took off. Now, I'm not saying he would have been perfect in championships. He may have been 7-1, 6-2. One of them Houston teams may have got him. I don't believe so.
I don't believe so.
And he didn't get there after that. I don't know because a lot of that, Scotty was hurt and Scotty didn't want to come back, Phil didn't come back. There were other determining factors that played into that. But just as longevity consists, it's easy to have a lot of stats when you never stop playing at a high level. But when you do more in a shorter period of time, that's greatness.
Yeah.
When you win 3 after going through the gauntlet, take some time off, try to excel in baseball, come back and win 3 more. Nobody do that, man.
Nobody.
Look it up. Tell me somebody that if LeBron James retires right now, he's not coming back in 2 years and winning a championship. Hell, he's not winning a championship this year.
He's not winning one now. No. And he's not going to win. It's not going to happen. And I mean, I'm gonna leave it with this too, with the LeBron James type things, like other things that kind of flip. And again, I'm not ripping on his greatness. LeBron James had 1 year in his career that he had played a full 82 games.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan had 13.
Michael Jordan is the model of iron. You have iron, you have steel, right? That's Michael Jordan. You look at LeBron after age 35, 45 games, 50-something games, 47 games.
Takes his time off. That's why he can last up to 20 years in the NBA.
Because he doesn't play.
And he doesn't play defense either. Even when he does play, he doesn't play defense.
And these are not fan-based statistics. These are real stats. Like, you can look it up and be like, "Hey, LeBron only played 47 games 2 years ago." 47. Look at this year. He was hurt. I'm not saying he didn't have a legitimate injury. He was hurt.
I don't think he had
legitimate injury. Well, they told him to shut it down. The Lakers started winning, doing better without him. He was like, let me come back.
Austin Reeves just freaking popped out of nowhere for the LA Lakers when LeBron James went down.
Pat Bev told you. Russ told you. Multiple other players throughout his career told you, like, we don't like playing with dude.
No. All he does is a stat chaser now.
As much as you all say he's about team, he's about himself. That's why point guards don't want to go there. Like, why I want to be a point guard and go play.
He is the point guard. LeBron James should just be surrounded with shooters. That's all that you need, because he is a passer. I'll give him that. He is a passer. I mean, good for him.
More than one, and a good passer. I'm not.
He's a very good passer, especially for his position.
He's a good passer. He is. I won't say prototypical, but he's of that point forward mode. Guess who had the point forward first? Wolves.
Scottie Pippen.
Point forward. You know who was a damn good point forward that didn't get the recognition because of injury? Grant Hill. We've seen this before.
Yep.
LeBron just elevated, and he's had.
Tracy McGrady was a damn good point forward too until he started having
more of a two guard.
More of a two, yes. He was more of a shooting type thing, but he was still like a point forward type because he was a good passer too.
I would love for us to have a debate with any of our fans and especially Bullets, because
we do need to do that.
As great as LeBron is, he's not the greatest. Yeah. And he does a lot of things. He's a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
And the one thing I will always say about LeBron James fans, and I'm not tearing you apart or anything, but everyone's saying it's like Michael Jordan could have never won it with 3 different teams. It was like, I'm like, Michael Jordan didn't need to go to 3 different teams. Like, I don't understand why people think it's more successful to win with 3 different teams than it is to build a franchise and win 2 3-peats. There's no comparison.
Why are we applauding and promoting?
No, I agree with you. And that's the thing. It's just like he's not going to teams to help them win championships. He's going to teams to help them win a championship for him.
Yes.
Because if he would have stayed on Cleveland, where he
I'd
was
have way more respect
and won one with Cleveland or won a couple with Cleveland, hands down, he would have been up there in my conversations. Hands down. But he had to jump to 2 Hall of Famers in Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And then he left that.
And Ray Allen.
And Ray Allen came in there later in the years too. Yeah, he wasn't there for their first championship.
He was there for the second.
There for their second. And they still had great shooters around him in Miami as well. That was a great globetrotter type team. And then he jumped and says, "Oh, wait, I want to go win one back for Cleveland because they had a great MVP caliber player in Kyrie Irving there. And then I'm going to bring Kevin Love with me there now too." So then you had to go and jump there to win a championship with Cleveland, where you're picking that as to be the reason why you are the greatest of all time, because you won it back with Cleveland when you had to go follow 2 great players. And then you leave Cleveland for the second time. You leave Cleveland and you go to LA, and it was just like, okay, LA's got a young team. I'm going to give you a little bit more credit if you're going to pull a championship with this team. So, I mean, okay. But then he trades like the entire teams and gets Anthony Davis and he gets all these other ones. And I'm going to say this now, LA Lakers are not winning that championship if it was not in a bubble. Would never have happened because Anthony Davis wouldn't have been healthy enough, because Anthony Davis is the main reason why they won that championship, not LeBron James.
should have been finals.
He should have been the finals MVP, not LeBron James.
Absolutely.
But because your name is LeBron James.
Again, not impressed with dude.
Did he take Miami to the recovery in Cleveland twice, and now you were seeing it with the Lakers?
Hey. Ironically, by the time Miami finally recovered, they lost to the Lakers in the finals.
Yeah, they did. I remember that. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And it took for
he kills every team he goes to.
It took for Jimmy Butler to go down there.
Yep. You know? He killed every team he went to.
You're right, that Miami
because he was just saying, it was like, if I'm going to come there, we need to trade every asset that we have in the future to win a championship.
LeBron James is like a locust. It's like he just
Like, and if you think about that, Michael Jordan, what free agent did Michael Jordan desperately come out and say that he wanted? That was Dennis Rodman. That was pretty much. Dennis Rodman, he never desperately came out and said he needed him. He just went up to Phil Jackson and said, can you coach him? Yeah.
They asked him, how do you feel about coming? They was like,
and then Michael,
you can use him.
Yeah, and Michael Jordan said, I know Scottie Pippen came right out and said, absolutely not. I do not want that freaking lunatic here. But Michael Jordan came out and said one thing. He was like, Phil, can you coach him? Phil said yes. By giving him those weekends off to go to strip clubs in Vegas to let out some steam. It worked. It worked. Three more championships with Dennis Rodman.
Hey.
And everyone will say, it was like, if Dennis Rodman wasn't in that team, are they winning that three-peat? There's a strong possibility that they wouldn't. I'm not denying that.
So you give credit for team hopping and creating great teams, but you don't give credit for staying home and being the best team.
It makes no sense why somebody would think team hopping is
to me,
more of
it's harder to stay on the throne.
Yeah. Because you look at the perfect example in Dame Lillard right now. I really, truly wish Damian Lillard would have left and possibly went out and tried to get a championship. He chose to stay where his heart is and for the love of the game of Portland, and he's never going to win a championship. It's safe to say he will never win a championship. And it sucks. It's not easy to do, to stay where you're at, making the money that you are making. And to stay on that.
The credit that I'll give Dame is not the same credit that I'll give LeBron. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing the greatness of the individual player. But Dame said, I'm gonna stick it out and I'm gonna try to win here. I have to applaud that.
No, absolutely. I'd rather applaud that than him go join Golden State and win a championship like Kevin Durant did, pretty much, we'll say. And I like Kevin Durant. I really do.
To me, KD is the best. He's the unicorn.
Yeah.
He's the true unicorn. Like, you will not ever hear me say one bad thing about Kevin Durant. It's nothing he can't do.
100% there's nothing he can do.
Like, he's a creative player on 2K. Like, that's what Kevin Durant is. Like, the 7-foot guy that can do everything. Like,
who can hit a three-pointer, who can drive, who can play defense. There's nothing he can't
90
do.
guy, like, got a handle out this world. Like, but here
he's not an isolation ball hog type player. He passes the ball very well too. He does everything.
He's efficient.
Yeah.
12 of 19, 20 of 25. He's efficient.
And I was not happy at first when he left OKC because I would have really liked to see what that team can do.
They were close, but I knew they were going to, because Harden was emerging.
Yes.
You could see it.
When they had, that was Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, all young in their careers.
And I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable.
Yeah. And I knew it wouldn't be either. But, I mean, even if it would have just stayed Westbrook and Durant, I would have liked to see what that would happen. But Durant came out right and said, he was like, Westbrook's not a team player. You can say what you want. He gets you points. He gets you assists. He gets you rebounds. He gets you everything. But when it comes down to a team-winning type game, he does not make the right decisions to win you basketball games. And that's been proven throughout his career.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant's got chips.
That's like,
yeah.
I wouldn't. So quick prediction. Give me your Western Conference Finals and give me your Eastern Conference Finals before we get out.
East, we will. I'm gonna, man, because the Bulls sucked so much, I never really followed it as much now. But, I mean, Middleton's still being out. Giannis is pissed that he, again, got passed up on an MVP. I think he is going to be proven a point.
Wait, it was Embiid, right?
What?
It's going to Embiid, right?
It's going to be going to Embiid this year, I believe, because I don't think they're going to give it to Jokic, even though I think Jokic deserves it more than Embiid. But I don't know what NBA player came out and said it, but I actually do agree with it. You cannot give a three-peat MVP title or championship to someone, or MVP reward to someone who has not made it past the third round. Like, he's not a playoff caliber guy. He may win you them during the regular seasons, but you got to spread it around. Because how many MVPs did Michael win? 5. He should have won more than 5. Easily. LeBron James, I only think, won 3. 4? Okay, he should have won more than 4, especially during the primes of his career.
So Larry is the only one that won 3 consecutive years.
Okay.
But
yeah, and I don't think Jokic is going to be
getting something else, though?
What?
Larry is also the only player to be runner-up 3 consecutive years.
Damn. Okay. I didn't know that.
Little tidbit for y'all.
Yeah, but I mean, Embiid's going to get it, but I'm picking the Bucks to actually go to the finals because I think Giannis is going to play pissed that he didn't even get in the conversation of MVP this year, and he's going to be playing. He's going to be playing pretty angry. Man, the West is so fucking tough because Memphis was so dominant.
No, not a soap opera. It's a choose your own adventure book. That's what the West is.
I'd have to really, because I mean, Golden State Warriors, they finished the season strong.
Yeah, they're 6 seed. They play it's Denver. They play Sacramento.
Okay. That's going to be a tough one too, though. Sacramento is a young and upcoming team.
It's really
is tough for the West.
It's 2 teams for me. The Clippers, by winning, ultimately have to play Phoenix.
I don't think the Clippers are going to be winning, though, unless Paul George comes back.
He'll be back, but he won't be. But even still, I don't see the Clippers beating Phoenix. Phoenix is undefeated when Kevin Durant plays so far.
Yeah.
That's a 4-5 matchup. We all know the winner of the 4-5 matchup plays 1. Phoenix trounces Denver. Period.
I'm actually, I'm picking Phoenix to be my other West. I think it's going to be Phoenix Bucks.
That's a repeat of 3 years ago. 2 years ago. So I like to do conference matchups first because I don't like to just do finals yet. I would not be surprised if the Western Conference Finals was Phoenix and Memphis. I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised on that either. Because Ja's back being Ja.
I wouldn't be surprised. But now they do need Steven Adams, which is going to hurt because Jaren Jackson gets a lot of fouls.
Yep.
But they're playing that half-court brand. Hopefully he can stand a little longer. But that Memphis team is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little different. On the East, with Boston having to play the 8th seed be anywhere from like Toronto to the Bulls to the who is it? Toronto. No, Bulls are 10. Toronto's 9. Miami. Like I think the Bucks damn near get a cakewalk.
Yeah.
To the Eastern Conference Finals. But don't be surprised. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Don't be surprised if it's Bucks Philly. Don't be surprised.
Wait, with the what?
Bucks and Philly.
Philly in the
first round, Philly plays Brooklyn.
Yeah. That's an easy win. Should be an absolute easy win.
That 4-5, remember that 4-5 matchup is Cleveland and the Knicks.
Yeah.
Of which I have Cleveland, but then Cleveland turns around and plays the Bucks.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. But everyone's got their hype on Boston. I'm sorry. I don't think Boston will get past the first round, but
that's what I said. So Boston plays the Nets in the first round.
Yeah.
That's why I say so Boston will win. But like Philly is no, I'm sorry. Philly is 3. Boston is 2. Boston
Philly's
will
3,
play
yeah.
right.
Bucks are
will
1.
play- Philly plays the Knicks. Boston will play the winner.
Who finished 1 in the West this year? Actually, anyway,
Denver
finished 1.
Denver, Memphis, Sacramento. Denver, Memphis, Sacramento.
And then Phoenix, I think, was
Phoenix,
4.
Clippers, Golden State, Lakers, Pelicans, and then
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love to see the Clippers go, but losing Paul George was a killer. Losing Paul George was a killer. But I mean, Westbrook in the postseason in the West is James Harden in the East. It's just non-existent. They fuck up too much.
But I promise you, I wish the Lakers had just went ahead and got that 5th seed, and
so they can play the Clippers.
No, so they could play Phoenix and get drugged, get swept.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would have loved to see the Lakers Clippers in a 7-game series, though.
Tyronn Lue is 11-0 versus the Lakers.
I know, but not in the post. They
haven't met in the postseason.
They've never met in the postseason in the history. That would be great for NBA.
Coach, he is 11-0 against the Lakers.
That would be great for the NBA, though, if the Clippers and the Lakers met in a 7-game series, and that'd be interesting too. Because, man, I would watch every single one of those games more than a Bulls game, probably.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got 2 teams not advancing: the Bulls and the Lakers. Carrying on.
Do you have the Bulls winning the play-in, though?
Yeah.
You don't have them winning the play-in? I just
have no faith in them long term.
Again, Jeremy, I love you, man, but I just don't have faith in coaching making the right decision to beat a fast athletic.
They have to win 2 games.
Yeah, they have to beat Toronto, and then they have to beat whoever wins the 7th, 8th.
I just don't see them doing it.
Bulls have disappointed us and then killed us all in one. Regardless, they're going to get destroyed versus the Bucks, but it would be nice to get at least one play-in game. But
well, on paper, considering that this new play-in tournament thing, technically they made the playoffs.
I'm sorry, no, they didn't.
Participation trophy.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. That's what they keep like. There's so many people who come out to me and say, "Hey, the Bulls made the playoffs during the play," and I was like, "They made the play-in. That is not the playoffs. I'm sorry, it's not the playoffs." Yeah, no, fucking kidding me. Nobody came into this season saying the Bulls should be a 10th seed battling for a play-in. Just like nobody came into the season saying the Lakers who were battling for a play-in. Nobody came into the season to say that the Mavericks were not making the play-in.
No, the Mavericks were, first of all, before the trade, the Mavericks were in the playoffs. They were like
they were top 4. They were top 4 they were top 4 in the West until Kyrie came here. And I'm not blaming that on Kyrie. It's just the chemistry of the team totally changed once Kyrie came.
Well, they traded away all the damn defense.
Yeah, they did. They had no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, defense wins championships and the track.
100%. All right, let's get to these shout-outs. We said that 20 minutes ago, and then we got brought up.
So this will be a little like quicker than normal because
it's only 2 people.
But so I'm just going straight to the chat. Thank you, Juanita, for checking in. Z-Force32 for everybody that don't know. That's our guy Gary Zahara, IHSA referee, college referee. Love when Gary chimes in. Jeremy, you were on fire as usual. Love to see you. Also, Skylark, welcome back, Skylark99. Always good to see you. Emilio Bucks, thank you for chiming in. I have to do a plug for Plunked, of which we can do Plunked on Sundays. That is your first, second, third, and fourth. See what I do there? Went around the bases. Home for baseball. First, second, third, and home for baseball. Plunked. Emilio Bucks, Christian Petit, check him out on the CCP. I also want to give a shout out to my mom, because if nobody else is watching, I know my mom is watching. And thank you for chiming in. And that's all I got tonight. Shout out to SB. Shout out to the Bulls, but not really a shout out to the Bulls because I don't have any faith in them.
Hopefully they surprise us, man.
Yeah, we had one team make the playoffs. We take what we can get.
Even though it was a play-in.
Right.
They got a participation reward. None of the other teams got a participation award.
There you go.
All right. Shout outs for me. Same as JB with the chat. Everyone was lit. Jeremy, would love to get you on, get a little Billy Donovan perspective here, because I don't think anybody else sees it on this show. And talking about Plunked and everything like that. Like, I mean, White Sox back to their original routine over the past few years. They now have 4 of their starters on hurt.
Always.
So right back to this bullshit again. Cubs are losing, but they get a little surprise wins every now and then, keeping the city excited. But baseball is, man, it's going to be pretty sad. It seems like, I mean, White Sox at least have the talent to get there, but they can't stay healthy to get there. So hopefully, I know it's early in the year, injuries happen early in the year, so we hope that gets changed. I haven't, speaking of the mom of the podcast here, as I give her a shout out, and any update on how the Blackhawks are doing right now, last game of the season. If they win, they beat the Pens, you motherfuckers.
Wait, they won?
You son of a bitch. You win the last game of the season, which now took you out of the number 1 seed. So, fuck you guys.
They can't beat Bedard?
No. I mean, they can. I mean, they can still possibly finish with a second and a third worst in the NBA. But the worst team in the NBA gets 22% chances to land Connor Bedard. The second is 13, and the third is 12. So that's a huge difference. Absolutely stupid that they went out and won the last game of the season. God damn it, man. So that ruined. Congratulations, Blackhawks. You got a participation award in my thing for not landing the number 1 seed, you freaking morons. Well, that ruined my night. So other than that, Bears talks, hey, 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks left until the draft. Yeah, we'll definitely have to try to set up something where we can go live at a certain place for the draft, because that'd be extremely cool as hell to do. Other than that, hey, got nothing else. Hope everyone had a great Easter. That's no violins here. I don't need no motherfucking violin here.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
The Blackhawks just became a sheep in my book. God damn it. I hope we pull a rabbit out of our ass and we still get that number 1 pick, but lost a lot doing it. So
this has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.